On a beautiful Thursday afternoon for baseball, we welcome you back to Chicago, Illinois. Wrigley Field, home of the Chicago Cubs, where the Brewers are looking for a big win here this afternoon. They'll put Mike Fiers back out on the hill against the veteran Edwin Jackson. Fiers making his second start of the 2014 season on the major league level. And Jackson, he has struggled all year to win games, and the Brewers hope to add to the loss column here today. We shall see. Hi, everybody. Craig Kashan, David Nelson back with you here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Mike Fiers pitched an awesome game against the Dodgers in his first start the other day, and the Brewers have their hands full with Jackson, who's pitched well here at home.
Well, he's pitched so well here at Wrigley Field, but he's been so inconsistent, and he's pitched well against the Brewers the last time he faced them. But the Brewers know what they're going to get from him, and then you go up there with your game plan, and then attack balls in the strike zone.
All right, Davey's going to be back on the broadcast when we get this game underway with BA again. And but first, we don't pitch until 1:20. Mike Fiers out on the hill, and boy, let's go back to that game against the Dodgers. 8 strong innings, just 1 earned run. He was very, very efficient, using his breaking ball very well.
Well, it was all about command for Mike Fiers, where he commanded his fastball and then was able to get the breaking ball over and his changeup. But boy, he had, the one thing, he did a lot of first pitch strikes with his fastball, in and out. He's not afraid to pitch inside, which is good. Keeps guys honest, and then use that outstanding breaking ball of his.
Let's bring in Sophia Minner now for more on Mike Fiers' second start. Sophia obviously in there because Matt Garza is on the DL right now, but he's been prepping for this. A lot going into where he is right now.
Yeah, Fiers, it was his first start in the big leagues after 14 months due to some injury issues, breaking his arm and taking some time away to rehab from that. And it was a dream start for Mike Fiers to come back to the big leagues, show that he could be there and prove that he was back, ready to be a starter here in the big leagues. And it was the kind of outing that the Brewers needed from him. I was able to catch up with Fiers yesterday on what went so well for him in that outing and how he looks to carry it over here today.
Start to start, just trying to focus on what I did right, and the things I did were, throw a lot of strikes and get them to swing the bat early and make quality pitches. I think this team likes to swing the bat, so I think right off the bat I need to start locating my pitches down in the zone, get them to swing, get some ground balls early, and get off the field.
Fiers already has 1 win here at Wrigley Field. He made a start here in August of 2012 when he was up for the first time as a rookie, and it was a tremendous outing for him. Went over 7 innings, scattered 4 hits with 6 strikeouts. So, like he said, looking to be aggressive against a free-swinging Cubs lineup here today.
It's always good to be comfortable with your surroundings, and thankfully Mike Fiers should be ready to go here at Wrigley Field against the Cubs. Speaking of being comfortable, the Brewers have been uncomfortable with the last 2 pitching prospects on the mound for the Chicago Cubs. Today, though, with Jackson out there, the Brewers know him. He obviously knows them, and maybe his best game of the season came here at Wrigley against the Brewers when he pitched 7 shutout innings in a victory.
And it was all about Edwin Jackson's command and his breaking ball. He was able to really spot his fastball, a little curveball and slider. He was able to put right where he wanted. He pitched the game of his life against the Brewers the last time. It'll be tough to repeat that. Now, the Brewers know what he's going to come and do to them, and all you have to do now is be prepared. Plus, the guys know that they need this second game, or this end game of the series here.
This is almost a must-win for Milwaukee just to even the series up. What's their approach have to be now against Jackson versus what they faced the last couple of days against starters they had never seen before?
Well, number one, be patient, especially with his breaking ball. Make him get it up in the zone. Attack his fastball. He tried to throw it away. Attack it the other way. Take it to right field through the middle, but make him throw strikes, and be patient, and they'll be able to hit this guy.
All right, the Brewers and the Cubs, our pregame programming before first pitch continues here from Wrigley Field. The class of 2009, what kind of an impact is it having on today's game alone? We'll find out next. Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, now in the original can, it's Miller time. By Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Davey does not take the train or a car. This is his transportation from Milwaukee to Chicago. Not too shabby. Looking forward to the ride home, my friend.
That's right. Well, bad dad, that's me, man. Nice little boat.
Good stuff. Beautiful day for baseball here. We're at Wrigley Field. The Brewers and Cubs closing out their 4-game series. Milwaukee really needing a win today, that's for sure. First pitch is coming up at 1:20, and it's time now for our Farmland What's Cooking. And what's cooking? The draft class of 2009, a heavy impact on this game alone. And in the starting lineup for Milwaukee, Chris Davis taken in the 7th round back in 09, Scooter Gennett the 16th round, and Mike Fiers the 22nd round. Fiers the starter on the hill. Our Sophia Minter had a chance to catch up with Zach Manasian, the director of professional scouting for the Brew Crew.
The 2009 draft class prominently on display here in today's game. We'll start with today's starting pitcher, Mike Fiers. He was the 22nd round pick for the team. Just what did he show in that last start at Miller Park, and how he's developed as a pitcher?
Well, something he showed that our amateur staff saw very early was he's very poised and very aggressive, pitches fearless. And if he continues to do that, we think he can be a successful big league pitcher. It's something we identified in him very early, something that we talk about in the draft room, scouts having a gut feel. And Mike was one of those guys for our scout who saw him, Charlie Sullivan, big-time strike thrower, and he's going to go right after guys.
What did he show in that 2012 run when he was among the best pitchers in the game over his first 10, 12 starts?
Well, there's different things he brings to the table. He's very deceptive, which sometimes is a little overlooked for pitchers. So you look at his velocity and say, oh, he's only throwing 88 to 90 miles per hour, but his delivery, the ball looks like it's coming 94, 95. So I think the deception he has really helps him. He also can throw all of his pitches for strikes. There's a curveball, there's a changeup, there's a cutter. So I think in a hitter's mind, you can never get too comfortable with the plate because Mike can come at you with a different pitch in any count.
Left fielder Chris Davis was the team's 7th round pick in that draft. He's now reached the 162-game mark, 30 home runs for him since last July. What kind of player has he turned into?
Yeah, he's a power bat that I think we all believe in the front office, also with our coaching staff. He's going to continue to get better, continue to hit. He's worked very hard defensively to become a quality outfielder. His routes are fantastic. I think he's done that. His arm strength has improved. So I think the sky's the limit for him as an offensive player, and he's shown to be very able to play a quality left field.
Second baseman Scooter Gennett was also among that draft class. How have you seen him grown over the last year and, one day potentially be the everyday second baseman?
Yeah, we think that's definitely in his future. Coming up through the minor leagues, the big thing on Scooter was how was he going to be as a defender at second base. And I think he's shown all of us that not only is the question was, could we get him to average? And he's shown that he's an above-average fielder. So he's worked very hard at that. It was something that was stressed to him very early in the minor leagues. And he's become a very, very good defender. And he's always hit. We think he'll continue to hit. And becoming a quality second baseman will make him a very solid everyday player.
All right, good stuff from Zach on the draft class of 2009. And you look at individually what these three have done collectively. I mean, they've opened up a lot of eyes in a hurry, that's for sure.
Well, that's right. It's like you're saying to yourself, wow. And I'm going to tell you this. When you look at it, partner, when they're drafted in the 2009 draft, what you're predicting is that 4 to 5 years, these guys will make it to the major leagues. And that's basically what has happened. They've come right up the line, but not only did they make it, they've been very productive at the major league level.
We heard from Chris Davis earlier, had an interview with Sophia Minter in our Brewers Live pregame show. He says he's not a power hitter. He's hitting about 250 right now. If he gets that average up 20, maybe even 25 points, he could really bring in the extra runs.
Well, that's right, and he will. I think I've always adhered to the Ted Williams theory that each year you play in the big leagues, you're going to get better because you know what pitchers are going to do to you. And I think Chris Davis, we already saw the improvement from last year at the part-time that he was here to this year, and he's a little more selective at the plate, and I just think he's going to continue to improve, and with that, he's going to hit more home runs.
Well, it'll be interesting to see with the wind always swirling around here at Wrigley Field. In fact, it was not even moving in a couple of games already here in this 4-game series. Today, it's a little windier. We'll see if that'll help out Chris Davis and the Brew Crew or not. The hitters got to come to hit today. And there's also a big injury update to talk about with Kyle Loesch. Stay right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Afternoon baseball at Wrigley Field. It does not get any better than this. Sunny and 70 degrees. Nice, cool conditions. And we are going to get an injury update now on Kyle Loesch. You know, he left the game yesterday in the 3rd inning, kind of retweaking his ankle. He's sore today, but for more on that, let's get the full scoop on Kyle Loesch from our Sophia Minute. Sophia?
Well, Kyle Loesch had a busy morning in the training room this morning, said he had already gone through 2 rounds of treatment on that sore right ankle. Now, it was an injury that he suffered 2 starts ago in St. Louis, and like you said, Craig, re-aggravated it on a check swing in the 3rd inning, was able to finish the 3rd inning, and exited the game after that. Now, the problem is it's a cause and effect type of injury, that it affects his balance, the way he can push off, then it affects his mechanics, so it puts extra stress on his arm, and so that is what the biggest concern is right now. And Ron Renneke said that with the soreness, Loesch will need to get a lot better in order to make his next start, scheduled for Tuesday, but they do have the benefit of 2 off days next week, Monday and Thursday, so it's a possibility that they could skip that start and not make too much damage to the rest of the rotation. So it's definitely a wait-and-see approach right now with Loesch. The next few days will be critical to see how he improves with the soreness in that ankle.
Well, there's no doubt they cannot afford to lose 2 starting pitchers, that's for sure. Matt Garza already on the DL.
All right, the subs got to get it done here at the Windy City finale. BA returns with the first pitch next.
Finally got some afternoon baseball in Chicago, Illinois. We're set for the fourth and final game of this series. And the Brewers need a win over the Chicago Cubs to earn the split in this series. It is a glorious on a Thursday afternoon at Wrigley Field, Chicago. The Brew Crew sending up Mike Fiers today. Well, the Brewers, they've been in first place since April 5th. And Milwaukee is going to remain in that spot at least after today, but they have a game-and-a-half lead on the Pittsburgh Pirates. And we're going to be doing some scoreboard watching here today because every team in the Central Division is underway today or will play later tonight. The Brewers up a game-and-a-half on the Pirates. They're underway with the Detroit Tigers right now. They're facing Max Scherzer. The Cardinals play tonight at home against San Diego and St. Louis, two back of the Brew Crew right now. Cincinnati is 5.5 back. So very important day today for the Brewers. They will head to Los Angeles after the game today, starting a 3-game series with the Dodgers beginning tomorrow. And there is the former Dodger, Ron Renicky, year number 4, trying to make it division title number 2 in his 4 years in Milwaukee if they can win it this season. Associated Bank batting order looks like this. It's Carlos Gomez, Gerardo Parra, and Jonathan Lucroy at the top of the order. Parra's in there for Braun. And then you got Chris Davis, Scooter Gennett, and Mark Reynolds in the middle. Lyle Overbay gets the start at first base. Elian Herrera will start for Segura at short, and Mike Fiers will be on the mound. So you got the bomb squatters out there today. Number of left-handed hitters against right-hander Edwin Jackson, who is making his 25th appearance of the season. He's just 6-12. One of those 6 wins came against Milwaukee. He pitched very well against the Brewers earlier this season. That was back in mid-May and went 7 shutout innings, and that was his best start of the season. The defense behind Jackson today for the Cubs. It is brought to you by Menards. Chris Coughlin, Osmendi Alcantara, Justin Ruggiano make up the outfield for Rick Renteria. Infield of Valbuena, Castro, Baez, and Rizzo. And Wellington Castillo back behind the plate here today. So all the pieces in place, and we're ready to play ball. Great to have you with us today on a beautiful Thursday afternoon. Davey Nelson's going to join us once again on our broadcast, and Bob Uecker's going to spend a little time with us today as well. It's been fun having you join us. Bill Schroeder is going to be out the remainder of this road trip, and we wish him well. As Gomez on the first pitch sends that one to deep center, but the wind is blowing in, and that is a long, loud out on the first pitch from Jackson. Any other summer day in Chicago, Illinois at Wrigley, that's going to be a home run. But there's a touch of fall in the air on this mid-August day today. Slight breeze coming in. The waves on Lake Michigan were rippling in today, and had some whitecaps out there. You knew it was going to be a windy day, but this is a very pitcher-friendly ballpark today, believe it or not, the way the wind direction is. It's what you would typically see early in the season in April and May, or maybe late in the season in late September. Very unusual for August, though. Here's Gerardo Parra. He's one of 4 left-handed hitters in the lineup today. Renicky trying to play matchup with Edwin Jackson on the mound, and Parra sends that one deep, but foul. No Ryan Braun in the lineup today. Aramis Ramirez gets the day off. Gene Segura getting the day off as well. And all 3 of those players dealing with some nagging injuries. Nothing serious, but a day off will do them some good. The Brewers are hoping to get some fresh arms and fresh bats in there today. There's a bouncer. Nice play by Baez. And he takes care of Gerardo Parra for out number 2. Two quick outs. Here comes Jonathan Lucroy. He's batting in the 3 spot today for Renicky. Moves into that primary spot in the batting order. In our AT&T U-Burst Rewind, you remember this? Jackson pitching for the Washington Nationals at the time. Lucroy goes deep on the road, and then Lucroy against Jackson at Miller Park. Jackson, as a member of the Cubs, got a little history against this right-hander. Coming into play today, Lucroy, a .379 hitter against Edwin Jackson in his career. He's seen a lot of him. This is his 30th at-bat against Edwin Jackson. We showed you the 2 home runs. Pretty gaudy numbers and a pretty significant sample size for Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy starts the day with a batting average of .303. That is 9th best in the National League. Got to start at first base in this series yesterday. Brewers aren't hitting much right now. Just 2 runs on 6 hits in a loss yesterday. The Cubs won 4-2. And the Brewers have lost back-to-back games here against Chicago after winning the opener on Monday. They were shut out on Tuesday. Scored just 2 runs last night on only 6 hits. Brewers got back-to-back home runs in last night's game from Weeks and Maldonado. But the offense needs to get it in gear, especially heading to Los Angeles. Dodgers still boast the best record in the National League, and they're lined up with some of their best. They'll have Greinke, Kershaw, and Dan Herron on the mound in that 3-game series in LA starting tomorrow night. Hitters count for Lucroy. 2 quick outs for Jackson on a couple of hard hit balls. Jackson does take his time on the mound. He is a very deliberate worker, and he walks Lucroy. And the Brewers with a base runner with 2 outs for Chris Davis. Good day to be a fly ball pitcher, actually. And Mike Fiers is just that. Usually you start looking at the calendar and you're saying, all right, Mike Fiers in August at Wrigley. That could be a tough matchup. He does get a lot of outs in the air, but hit the jackpot here today with the wind blowing in. Davis with Lucroy at first. And a big swing on the first pitch. I think the Brewers have it in mind to be aggressive against Edwin Jackson. I was talking to Johnny Naron before the game, the Brewers hitting coach. They're an aggressive hitting team anyway. Jackson typically around the strike zone. He's basically a two-pitch pitcher, Edwin Jackson. Fastball, slider. Has had his great moments, and he's had some not so great moments with the Chicago Cubs. Now in his second year of a 4-year deal. Jackson's last start was against Tampa Bay, a team he used to pitch for, and a team that he no-hit at one point. Jackson went 6 innings and 3 earned runs in his last start against the Rays over the weekend. 1-2 on Davis. Jackson's been able to go at least 6 innings in his last 2 starts. He beat the Dodgers on August 3rd. That was 2 starts ago for him. And that victory was his first win since June 20th. He went from June 20th to August 3rd without a victory. Had a 9 earned run game in that stretch against Atlanta. Gave up 5 earned runs against San Diego. It has not been a great year for Edwin Jackson. His earned run average is at .561. There's so much talk about the young talent here in Chicago and these great young prospects they have, and we've seen a couple of pitchers that we have not seen in the big leagues the last 2 nights. Both pitched very well. Wada last night and Hendricks on Tuesday. Jackson is the mainstay and the veteran presence on the starting rotation, and it has not been pretty for him this season. He does a lot of that. He'll rub up the baseball. He takes a lot of time between pitches. It's just his style. He has tried to pick up his tempo over the years, but to very poor results. Every pitching coach he's ever pitched for has tried to get Jackson to pick up the tempo a little bit. Always concerned about defensive focus and lapses when you have a pitcher who is so deliberate on the mound. The Cubs have played very good defense in this series. That's an area where they have improved dramatically. They've got a lot of young players who are very much settled in at the big league level at this point. Lucroy takes off, and Davis able to check his swing. Close call. Gets the call from Tim Welke, the crew chief, and Davis is aboard and back-to-back walks. And the Brewers have 2 on with 2 away for Scooter Gennett. Gennett's 3rd start of this series. It was Weeks yesterday against the left-hander Tsuyoshi Wada. Brewers have scored just 2 earned runs in the last 18 innings. Matter of fact, you can carry that over to 19 innings. They did not score in their final at-bat on Monday. Had a 3-1 victory here on Monday. Shutout Tuesday, lost last night 4-2. And the Brewers at the plate hitting around 200 in this series. Lucroy at second, Davis at first. Back-to-back walks to start the first inning here. And Gennett trying to cash him in. Got Mark Reynolds on deck. Swing and a miss. Goes to 0-2. It's one of Jackson's signature pitches, that sharp breaking slider. Jackson got the first 2 outs on 4 pitches. And about ready to throw number 19. Ready for an 0-2, and Jeanette takes a ball. Scooter at 307. Doesn't quite have enough plate appearances to register in the top 10 in the league. He's just outside that number. It takes 3.1 plate appearances per game to be in the top 10 or be among the league leaders. Jeanette would be 6th in the league in batting. And that ball's hit well into right center field. That is way back there. That's got a chance, and it is off the wall. Lucroy scores. Here comes Davis. And Scooter Jeanette defies the wind. Knocked it right into the traffic for a 2 RBI double, and the Brewers strike first here today. Boy, Jeanette got one right in the middle of the zone and did not miss it. Not the kind of 2-strike pitch Edwin Jackson was trying to make, and he almost hit one out of here. It's the base of the wall in deep right center. And with 2 outs, both runners were on the move at the crack of the bat. They both score. And the Brewers are on the board first here this afternoon. Here's Mark Reynolds now. Reynolds, the club leader in homers. He has 20 this season. Hit number 20 on Monday. 3 hits in the series. Reynolds was out of the starting lineup yesterday. Renicky had Lucroy playing first base with Maldonado catching. Today Reynolds gets the start at third base. He spent a lot of time at third base when Aramis Ramirez was on the DL earlier this season. It'll be his 29th start of the year, 28th start of the year, I beg your pardon, at third base. 1-2 the count. All this damage done with 2 outs. 2 walks, a double. Reynolds in a 1-2 count. And that one's up and away. 2-2 it goes. 7 consecutive years for Mark Reynolds with 20 or more home runs. He is the first player in Major League Baseball history to do that for 5 different teams. Hits a lot of homers. He's well traveled. And down he goes. Jackson strikes him out. And the side is retired, but not before the Brewers strike first. They get a 2 RBI double. It comes with 2 strikes and 2 outs from Scooter Jeanette. And the Brewers lead 2-0 with Fires on the mound when we continue. To the bottom of the first. Good start today for Milwaukee. And we're headed to the bottom of the first with the Cubs coming up. Rick Renteria's batting order today looks very similar to what we have seen often in this series. And why not? Cubs have it rolling pretty good with a lot of great young talent. Associated Bank brings us the Cubs lineup today. It's Coughlin, Baez, and Rizzo. Starlin Castro, Luis Valbuena, and Arismendi Alcantara in the middle of the order with Ruggiano, Castillo, and Edwin Jackson rounding it out. And there is Mike Fiers. Davey Nelson in the booth with us, has made the long, arduous trek from the field. Welcome up here, Davey. And what do you have on Mike Fiers? Big opportunity again for him.
Well, it certainly is. You know, Mike Fiers depends on his. He really depends on his command, and he's got that outstanding breaking ball. So what he likes to do, command first pitch strikes, and with his fastball, if he does that, boy, everything else falls into place if he has that curveball working for him.
Chris Coughlin leads off for Chicago. Coughlin yesterday had 3 hits, and 2 of those were doubles. He was 3 for 4 in yesterday's game. Cubs did all of their scoring early in yesterday's game. All 4 runs came off Loesch. He gave up 2 in the first and then 2 in the third on back-to-back homers by Baez and Rizzo. Coughlin has anchored down that leadoff spot for Chicago. He's had a nice year. He's hitting .291. A former Rookie of the Year back in '09 with the Marlins. In his first year with the Cubs. The 1-2 and a swing and a miss, and Fiers picks up a strikeout to get his day started.
You know, that's a nice pitch by Mike Fiers. Really got that fastball in on him where he couldn't get that extension. Really tied Coughlin up. And this is what Mike can do. You know, that fastball is only like 89, 90, maybe 91, but it looks 94 after that breaking ball.
It's got a little bit of a cut to it, or maybe just doesn't have the sink that you're expecting. Kind of stays true, and he rides that high fastball up, and he racked up a ton of strikeouts in the minor leagues. And you got a matchup of a couple of guys who spent most of the year in AAA in the Pacific Coast League. They've had some matchups in AAA this year. Javier Baez hit his first Wrigley Field home run yesterday, and it was one they are still talking about here in Chicago today. Last night off Loesch, and that was a no-doubter. And this guy is starting to make a name for himself with his tape measure home runs. He takes a violent hack at the plate, and when he connects, boy, it's something to watch.
Well, it certainly is. And you know, he's not a real big guy, but he's strong and can really put a charge in the ball. He's a very aggressive swinger.
He's only played 9 games in the big leagues, and I saw at least 4 Javier Baez Cubs t-shirts in the parking lot last night. I mean, that's making a name for yourself. Thanks to the t-shirt company. There's a strike 2 Baez, and it goes to 2-2. Now, the good news about this matchup today, these young Cubs hitters, especially those who are coming up to the big leagues for the first time, like Baez and Alcantara. Fiers actually has a little bit of a book on him. He gets him to chase, and down he goes. Back-to-back strikeouts. Mike Fiers off to a good start here today.
Did a nice job of elevating his fastball up out of the zone. You know, sometimes you like to see a pitcher elevate a ball, but you got to elevate it up out of the zone so they can't get the extension.
Fiers is 29 years of age. Just his second start. He is taking the rotation spot vacated by Matt Garza. Here's Anthony Rizzo, and Fiers is in there with a strike. Garza's going to be a while. Don't expect Garza back before the calendar turns to September. He was injured August 3rd, an oblique injury. Usually those are 3 weeks to a month, almost guaranteed. So Fiers is glad to get the chance, and the Brewers need him in a big way right now. He had a terrific first time out. His first start in the big leagues this year was against the Dodgers last week. He went 8 innings and just 1 earned run. 101 pitches in 8 innings. That was a 4-1 Milwaukee victory, and he beat Zach Greinke that day. Rizzo lines one right field. That's going to get down into the corner. Rizzo on his way to second, and he's in there with a double. That is a red hot bat that the Brewers are going to have to find some answers for right now.
Anthony Rizzo took a pitch on the down and in. I think this guy's a good low ball hitter, but you know, he continues to improve. He's showing a lot of patience at the plate, not swinging at a whole lot of bad pitches like in the past, but boy, he's getting on track right now, and he's not missing any mistake pitches at all.
Rizzo in his 4th year finally found a home here in the Cubs organization after bouncing from Boston to San Diego to Chicago. He's kind of followed the track of Jed Hoyer, the Cubs general manager, and they found themselves a good one. Rizzo and Castro, get used to those names in the middle of this batting order for the Cubs for a while. Castro comes in hitting .285, has 12 homers, 62 driven in. Yesterday, Starlin Castro was 3 for 4. He drove in a run. Now behind fires today are Menard's Brewers defense. We got no Ramirez or Segura. Braun's out of the lineup as well. You got a Gold Glover to replace him in right with Gerardo Parra. Reynolds, Herrera, Jeanette, and Overbay go around the horn with Lucroy behind the plate. First start for Parra for the Brewers in right field. That was his everyday position with the Arizona Diamondbacks, so he's very comfortable in right and has won a Gold Glove as a right fielder. Has one as a left fielder and a right fielder, Gerardo Parra. 1-1 to Castro. In the air to center field. The wind is blowing in, and Gomez is there to make the play. And fires off to a good start at Wrigley. A couple of strikeouts and a scoreless first. We head to the second.
Nothing lead to the second. The Brewers will start a series with the Dodgers tomorrow, and tomorrow is also No Fee Friday. For tomorrow only from 9 a.m. to midnight, the Brewers will cover all ticket transaction fees, so you can purchase tickets to any remaining home games without paying any ticket fees. You can purchase your no-fee tickets at Brewers.com. Again, that offer is tomorrow only. And an update on Kyle Loesch, who left the game last night after 3 innings, had already gone through 2 rounds of treatment on that right ankle today. Said he was certainly feeling sore and the concern is how the ankle affects his mechanics, his balance, his ability to push off, and how he finishes his pitches, putting more stress on that arm. Again, he aggravated that checking the swing in the third inning, and Ron Renneke said Loesch will need to get a lot better over the next few days to determine if he'll be able to make his next start on Tuesday, but they have the benefit of the off days on Monday and Thursday, so there is the possibility of skipping that start.
Yeah, that does give Ron Renneke and Rick Kranitz, thank you, Sophia, does give the Brewers a little flexibility. And Davey, I would imagine that as you look at this the schedule here, and this is what Sophia's talking about, the off day Monday, that is Loesch's day to pitch Monday. So you have an off day Monday and Thursday. Conceivably, if you skip Kyle Loesch in the rotation, then you could only have him as one start. Everybody else would stay on their rotation, and then he would pitch the first game in San Diego. So I'm sure these guys are talking about that, but I would imagine that it has a lot to do with what's happening on the field. If the Brewers are feeling like they can cover, and if they're playing well, then you'd give him as much time as he needs.
That's right, because this is something you don't want to fool around. You want to have a healthy Kyle Loesch down the stretch here, and by skipping having those 2 off days, I think that's going to be very, very important. And as we found out that he's been getting the treatment since the start against the Cardinals.
Lyle Overbay leads off for the Brewers, strikes out, and back-to-back Ks for Edwin Jackson. His second strikeout. It's an opening K here in the second inning, and that'll bring up Elian Herrera. You know, it's not a bad idea, and I know a lot of managers. You talk to any manager in the big leagues right now with a contending team, they would love to get a week to 10 days for their starting pitchers, each guy in their rotation, to have some time off if they've been in there the whole way like Loesch has. Obviously, you're not typically in a position to do that. You have to test your depth of your system. It will depend in great measure on how Mike Fiers performs. You have Marco Estrada you could put into the rotation if need be. But let's just say the Brewers keep their head above water through this very tough stretch in August, and you're able to get Matt Garza back, and you've gotten basically a month of rest for his arm while he recovers from the oblique injury. Let's say you get 10 days for Kyle Loesch. If you can keep your head above water through August, you might be in great shape with arm strength for 2 of your best pitchers.
Oh, that's right. And you'll be in super shape come September. As you know, another thing, Brian, when you look at it, a lot of that depends, like what Mike Fiers does. I mean, and he has stepped up. So you hope he continues that. And so you might not miss a beat, but the guys that are replacing him have to really step up and do a job, and that gives Ron Renneke a little more leeway.
Elian Herrera drops down a beautiful bunt. No chance for an out on this one. Herrera with a bunt single. And the Brewers get their second hit off Edwin Jackson. Herrera gets himself at first base. Perfectly laid down bunt in this thick Wrigley Field grass.
Boy, that looked like a Davey Nelson bunt, boy, back in the day. My
you should let me say that.
but he did. Got it right off the end of the bat. That's the best way to die the ball, is toward the end of the bat, and laid it down. Didn't try to rush. Laid it down. Perfect bunt. No play.
That was my fault. I didn't give you the necessary props right there. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen a Davey Nelson bunt, only on very grainy black and white film.
Well, they had the real film back there where you turn it, man.
I think it was a kinescope, was it not? Well, it gives Fiers a chance to drop down a Davey Nelson special. Hopefully he can advance Elian Herrera.
You know, almost a lost art, the drag bunt.
Fiers fouls another one off. Fiers has been in the rotation all year in AAA. Pitchers do bat at the AAA level, so he's certainly comfortable with a bat in his hands, as much as you can be as a pitcher.
Yeah, and I think right there, Mike just needs to keep that bat out in front of the plate a little bit. He brought it back and fouled the balls off. He's just got to get in a little bit more of a crouch and get that bat out in front.
Squaring with 2 strikes. Squaring early, and he gets that one down. That's fair, and the only play is first base, so nice job Mike Fiers does get the bunt down. It'll be a sacrifice. And the Brewers put a runner in scoring position with 2 outs, and the top of the order coming up.
Well, you know, that's a nice job by Mike. A pitcher can help himself in so many ways, whether he's on the mound, fielding a position, at the plate, without a doubt, man, being able to lay a sacrifice bunt down or squeeze bunt. You just help yourself out.
Top of the order, Gomez, who swung at the first pitch his last time up, and he hit a rocket into center, but right into that wind, and it was caught just shy of the wall in deep center field. Jackson starts it with a fastball strike. Gomez going with the old school look today, the high pant legs. He's doing whatever he can to change it up. We saw Gomez yesterday had a batting stance that was reminiscent of Evan Longoria, standing straight up in an open stance. He's back to his normal crouch, just a slight crouch. I saw him before the game today, and I said, you know, a lot of guys are getting a day off. Braun, Ramirez, Segura. I said, no day off for you, go. He goes, why? I didn't even get on base yesterday. I don't deserve a day off. Very critical of himself right now. This game can beat you up mentally, and Gomez hoping for a good day today to try to climb out of a bit of a slump.
Well, you know, that's one of the things. Baseball's a humbling sport, boy. You can be on top of the world in baseball, and then it'll bring you right down. You just can't ride too high or too low. But, you know, you're talking about Gogo's stance. I meant to ask him, I said, do you change according to the pitcher? Because he was more straight up yesterday, right. And maybe it's because of the lefty. But guys, you let this game play in your mind mentally, and you try to do things to change.
That ball's hit high in the air left center. And again, the wrong day at Wrigley Field for Gomez. On a lot of days, he could have 2 home runs by now. Instead, just 2 long fly ball outs. That 2 out, 2 RBI double in the first. Well, now time for you to tweet us. You can send your photo using the hashtag WisFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by AT&T. Always appreciate when you get interactive with us on Brewers television today. Brian Anderson with Davey Nelson filling in for Bill Schroeder. Talked to Rock today. He's in good spirits. He's doing well. Just trying to keep that infection down. Says it's going to be a few more days, but he is fully planning on returning on Tuesday when the Brewers return to Miller Park. to face the Blue Jays. So, Davey, thanks for all your work this week. I know it's you're pulling triple duty, pre-game, game, and post-game.
Hey, not bad.
Climbing up those ramps.
Yeah.
Haven't even had to send a card for you.
Good boy, I'm telling you. I'm glad this is the last time.
Balbuena shows bunt, pulls it back. And Bob Uecker's coming over next inning. He'll hang out with us for his off innings on radio, the innings that Joe Block does play-by-play. I feel bad for Joe. Maybe we should have Joe on for an inning today. Kind of get his side of the story.
It would be all right.
It's awful lonely over there when Uecker leaves on him. Big news in baseball today. We are going to have a new commissioner at some point. The owners are meeting in Baltimore. Sophia is monitoring that story. And they are actually voting right now. They're going through their process. Whatever owners do to pick a commissioner, that process is coming right down to the end. And we are expecting to hear who the new commissioner of baseball is going to be today. Fires hits the edge for a strike.
You know, I wonder if some of the owners are going around talking to other owners, hey, we got to have this guy, you know, like they do in Congress when they lobby for their guys, boy. Just because I know some want the commissioner's second-hand man that was in charge, others don't.
Seems like a very comfortable thing for those type of people to be doing, the owners of baseball, as Balbuena strikes out. And Fires has racked up 3 Ks already. I love Dan Brooks's line. I don't know if you know Dan. He's a terrific writer. You can follow him on Twitter at Brooks Baseball. But he had a great line. When voting for new baseball commissioners, do they use the papal smoke system to signify vote? That's what it feels like, you know. We're just waiting, and I think it takes 23 votes to get the majority. So Bud Selig's tenure as commissioner is coming to an end, and I believe this will be the 10th commissioner of baseball.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. I was around Bowie Kuhn.
Yeah, Bowie Kuhn
was there, and the commissioner before him.
I thought you were around when Kennesaw Mountain Landis was commissioner. That's not fair. That's two old man jokes and too innovative. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Fires deals an 0-2. Alcantara, one of the terrific young prospects here in the big leagues with the Cubs. He's had a nice series.
You know, I wouldn't have felt bad if you had said I was around William Eckert was commissioner, because that was just before Bowie Kuhn.
So how'd it go? Bowie Kuhn, and then
Peter Uberall.
That's right.
Bart Giamatti.
Yeah.
Fay Vincent, and then Bud Selig.
Bud Selig's been in there ever since. It's been a long run for Commissioner Selig. Commissioner Selig has been in the commissioner's office since '92, as a matter of fact. He was on an interim role in the absence of a commissioner from '92 to '98, full-time as the elected commissioner since 1998. Two and two the count on Alcantara. And that one is in there, and down he goes. Alcantara strikes out. And Mike Fires is racking up the K-Boys today. That is number 4 for Fires.
And when you look what Mike Fires is doing, he's getting some strikeouts on fastballs. Everybody's looking at that breaking ball, you know, and he's been able to elevate his fastball. But that one's just right down and spotted very well, right down and away. Caught him by surprise.
2 outs for Justin Ruggiano. Ruggiano was not in the starting lineup yesterday. Started the first 2 games. Had some pop in his bat. Had a couple of hits on Tuesday. And Rusciano turns on that one. It is hooking. It is way back, and it is foul. Boy, did you see the wind knock that ball down? I'm telling you, that thing hooked at least 100, 150 feet in the air.
Yeah. Thought he had some severe draw on that ball. Man, that when he hit it, I thought it was going out. He crushed it.
And you know, if you're a golfer, when you hit a draw or a slice into the wind, it only magnifies that spin, and it was a major hook. Bit of a break for Fiers. 2-2 the count on Ruggiano. Fiers a chance to strike out the side, and he misses upstairs. I will say this, though, these two pitchers, Fiers and Jackson, they know the deal. They know the wind's blowing in, and they're probably challenging hitters more today than they would if it was a typical August day here at Wrigley. So one leads to the other. And that one's in there. Fiers hits the edge, and a called strike 3. And Mike Fiers strikes out the side. He gets Valbuena swinging to start the inning. And then Alcantara goes down looking right down the middle. And Ruggiano takes one on the edge. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. Beautiful day at Wrigley Field, Chicago. Beautiful day out there on Lake Michigan as well, right? Got some sailboats out. And here we go to the Brewers half of the third inning. Gerardo Parra will lead off. Parra, Lucroy, and Davis. And the Brew Crew leading 2-0 as we play in this third inning. That's a Euchre cam right there. There's also Ron Coomer cam right there. I believe that was the sizable back of the Cubs radio analyst, Ron Coomer. We saw Euchre's boiler and Coomer's back.
I hope that was my boiler.
Hey, Euchre, welcome back.
Yeah, good to be here.
Well, we finally got a day game at Wrigley Field. It's a beautiful day for a ball game today.
Dandy.
Everything good on the Brewers radio today?
Yeah, we're doing, matter of fact, I was just coming up with a comedy skit for this area.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice. Is that something that you write down, or is that just all in the genius brain of yours?
No, just coming off the brain.
Okay.
You know, talking about all these apartments around here where you would actually have people living in there.
Uh-huh.
And then people who bought tickets for the rooftop would walk through your living room and kitchen while you're living and
right,
having breakfast and dinner and stuff.
Little ticket taker, maybe one of those things that you go through to count the people as Parra lines out. Yeah, it could be a nice little scene. You know, you'd have a family sitting in the kitchen.
That's what I'm saying.
And then you have
fans coming in for the game, walking through your living room and your kitchen. People, some apartments would be occupied by people who hate baseball. Others would be occupied by maybe people who inherited one of these buildings and are cricket fans. They came here as immigrants and can't get cable TV to get cricket games. Cricket games. They're hard to get here. This whole thing could really work.
This could turn into like the cricket mecca of the United States, and it could all be in great irony around Wrigley Field, this great baseball mecca. I get it. Would you put like a plexiglass window up, or
no?
You just walk right by the people and have contact with them? Maybe some bars.
No, you're looking at people sitting in those like living rooms.
Yeah,
like those would be the people who normally live. They live in those buildings.
I think that'd be a great show. There's a nice play over third by Balbuena. To his feet, low throw, dug out by Rizzo. Man, what can't this guy do right now at first base? Great play on both ends. Balbuena to Rizzo for the second out.
I remember a couple of years ago when Dale Swaim talked about Anthony Rizzo. Brian, he was in the minor leagues at that time, and Dale Swaim told me, he said, we got to get this guy to the big leagues. He's ready to play. And since he arrived here in Chicago, and Dale Swaim was right on about him. I mean, he's a guy with power. He's an average hitter, and he's a very, very good first baseman. Mm-hmm.
Now Rizzo has been a tough out. Just made a nice play defensively as Chris Davis takes the ball. I'm curious to know from Rizzo, I don't know if he'd ever share this at this point of his career, but he's been with 3 organizations now, but he's followed the path of Jed Hoyer. He knows the general manager is in his corner because everywhere Hoyer goes, whether it be Boston, which is where he was originally, Hoyer goes to San Diego, he makes sure Rizzo comes with him. He works a trade to get Rizzo to San Diego, and then when Hoyer ended up working for Theo Epstein here in Chicago, he made sure the Cubs got Rizzo. So he's got the right guy in his corner, and you can see why Hoyer's in his corner the way he's played. An all-star this year, Rizzo. That ball's hit deep in the left. Davis sending one out, and it's gone. A home run. I choked again. I was going to lay out, but I didn't know if it was going out on a windy day. Chris Davis homers, and the Brewers are up 3-0. That's
I'm not doing any recreations.
Okay. Golly.
You're doing good. You're all right.
You know, the worst thing to do would be to turn it over to you for a high fly ball, and then it doesn't go out. You know, like if it's
I'm pretty much on him. That was hit good, and you're right. The wind blowing in, coming out of the north here at Wrigley Field today, but that one got out of here.
You got the next one.
You kind of.
It's just starting to get embarrassing.
I got to get ready for somebody who I know is definitely going to hit one.
We got to just assume anybody, anytime can hit one. Chris Davis is a guy that I should have counted on. If there's anybody who can beat the traffic in a game like this, it's Chris Davis, right?
You got that right.
What power. That's his 20th, by the way. He and Mark Reynolds with the most homers on the club with 20 as Jeanette goes to the opposite field. I'll call that one. Coughlin is there to make the catch, and that will retire the side. I'm 0 for 3 on Brewers home runs with Mr. Baseball in the booth. Unacceptable. Davis makes it 3-0. season. You got Jeanette with a 2 RBI double today, and those 2 out of that 09 draft class making contributions. Our Carsoup.com trivia question: besides the Baseball Hall of Fame, in which other sport, in quotes, is Bob Uecker a member of their Hall of Fame? That's our question today. Bob knows that, so don't give it away.
I won't.
You're a member of many Halls of Fame. Is that how you say that? Halls of Fame.
I guess.
There's lots of halls Halls of Fame. How many Halls of Fame are you a member of? Do you know?
I think it's 7. And I'm not bragging about it.
I'm just asking your answer.
Yeah, I think it's 7.
Including the
longevity gets you there, Brian.
Sausage Hall of Fame, is that right?
I did that. That dinner was really something. I can remember walking on stage. I was just wearing a sausage casing. And
that's it.
That's all I had.
Quite distracting.
Not to a lot of people. Most of the people down the front, first couple of rows. A little upsetting for them. But.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you had to make a memory somehow. Radio Hall of Fame.
I remember that, yeah. Yeah, the Radio Hall of Fame is down here in Chicago. National Radio Hall of Fame is here. Nice place.
And if you're ever bumping around on YouTube, one of the great things you can go watch is Uke's Hall of Fame speech in 03 at Cooperstown, the Baseball Hall of Fame, always legendary. Mike Fiers with another strikeout. That is the 4th consecutive K. He has 6.
Yeah.
And the last 3 have been called strike 3s.
Here he is again, and it's typical Mike Fiers, and right on the outside corner, and that takes care of Wellington Castillo. But Fiers is in that 90-mile-per-hour range every once in a while, maybe 91, but a very good changeup and very good breaking stuff.
He zips that one in at 88, and it's in there for a strike on Jackson, who's a very good hitting pitcher. You got to do your homework on Edwin Jackson, almost like a position player at the plate. He's got a lot of power, and he runs well. So anything hit on the ground, you got to make sure you get it over to first quickly.
Pretty good athlete, Edwin Jackson. You know the thing about this guy, he's tough against Milwaukee, Brian. He's been really tough against the Brewers from time to time. But he's got an ERA approaching 6. He's having a losing season. You were talking earlier about Anthony Rizzo and moving around a couple of times. Here's a guy that's been with 8 different ball clubs, and I don't understand why. I know free agency has a lot to do with it. He throws in excess of 95 miles per hour, and yet he's been one of those guys that's moved around from time to time.
He's been a part of a few trade deadline days in his career. Teams picking him up to try to carry him into the postseason. And I think the thought was, when Jackson finally got to free agency and signed a deal with the Cubs, at least from the Cubs' perspective, is that we're going to give him a 4-year deal. We're going to let him settle in. He's finally going to have a place to call his own.
Yep.
And we might get a 20-game winner out of this, and it's gone just the opposite in his 2 years in Chicago. And last year was 8-18 for the Cubs with an ERA near 5.
And when you look at what he's done with other ball clubs, and again with the Brewers, he's been tough from time to time. When your ERA is approaching 6, somebody's got your number. And for a guy that throws as hard as he does, and the breaking stuff that he's got that's very good, he makes a lot of mistakes from time to time and gets stung.
I always felt like Jackson would ultimately be a closer in the big leagues. Typically a 2-pitch pitcher. He's a fastball slider guy, right? And he throws hard enough to be a closer.
Yep.
Seems like he's got the personality to close. Doesn't get rattled too much. But it hasn't been that way. He's been a starting pitcher. Been a .500 pitcher for the most part until the last couple of seasons. He's got a long at-bat going here against Fiers. This is pitch number 8. And Fiers strikes him out. That's another backwards K. We're going to have to start diving into the record books here. That is 4 consecutive called strike 3s, 5 consecutive strikeouts for Mike Fiers.
Well, the Brewers needed needed a big game today, Brian, out of Mike Fiers, and they're getting it thus far here in the third. And his first time out when he pitched at Miller Park, you know, you're always pulling for a guy like a Fiers who's been up and down, and a guy who's worked very hard in the minor leagues to get back here and had problems from time to time. And when you see him work in games like he has thus far, it's a big pickup for the club. Here you lost Loesch last night. Don't know how long yet. Matt Garza is on the mend. And you stick a guy like Mike Fiers in there, and he really comes up and does a job for you. I mean, it's big time. I mean, this is a big time of the season now. And the Brewers, of course, chasing the Central Division championship, and you got a guy like Mike Fiers, and if he does the job that they're hoping he can do, big lift for the club, big time.
Went 8 innings and beat Zach Greinke to secure a series win in his last start. He racked up huge strikeout numbers at AAA Nashville this year. He struck out 129 batters in 17 starts in Nashville, compared to just 17 walks. 129 Ks to 17 walks in his AAA run this season. Made his first start in the big leagues last Saturday, back out there today against the Cubs, and he has 7 punch-outs, 5 in a row. And the last 4 have been looking. You just don't see 4 or this run of called strike threes on hitters at the big league level. Guys are usually hacking.
Yeah, he's right on the outside corner. I mean, he's making very good pitches. And with that last one on Edwin Jackson, Lucroy had the ball to third base before Jackson had an idea what it was.
Coughlin stays alive. 2-2 the count. We were taking a look at the schedule a couple of innings ago, and the Brewers do have couple of off days coming up. That might be very beneficial concerning Kyle Loesch to try to get him to maybe buy a few days. You might be able to skip a start with Loesch.
I think that's what's going to happen, B.
So you could stick with a 4-man rotation and really not get any of the pitchers off their rotation. Brewers have been lucky. They've been very healthy in their starting rotation this season until Garza went down on August 3rd. Now Loesch with the ankle injury. We'll see how he comes out of it. 2-2. Fiers delivers, and a bouncer back to the mound. Cubs finally put one in play, but that's easy for Fiers, and he is bucking right along here. Mike Fiers has only given up 1 hit. That was a double. Has 7 Ks through 3 shutouts.
Contacts the Milwaukee Brewers in the next 24 hours at 414-902-4572. Nelson Lake Landing will receive 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a 2014 Milwaukee Brewers home game. This offer is courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. And Ron Renneke said it was a little bit of a struggle putting that lineup together today, giving Aramis Ramirez, Ryan Braun, Gene Segura the day off, but said it was also the opportunity to get more left-handed bats in the lineup, including Overbay and Herrera, their success against Edwin Jackson.
Yeah, the Brewers have, thank you, Sophia, 4 left-handed batters against Jackson. Elian Herrera's a switch hitter. And you got the lefties in Overbay and Jeanette and Parra. Sometimes when you're not hitting and you shake up the lineup a little bit, it works. And so far it has for the Brew Crew. They have 3 runs on the board. Chris Davis hit his 20th homer of the season, his 60th RBI. And Jeanette with a 2 RBI double with 2 outs in the first. So 3-0 as we play here in the fourth. Bob Uecker joins us, the Hall of Famer, spending a little time with us this week as Bill Schroeder has been out with the injury to his finger. We appreciate that. He and Davey have covered for us. Always great to spend some time with a Ueck. And we were taking a look at some of the news of baseball between innings, and I think we're getting close to naming a new commissioner today, which will end the reign of Bud Selig. And your good friend, Commissioner Selig's had a terrific run. All the way back since 1992, officially elected in 1998, but the game has grown significantly under his tenure as commissioner.
Yeah, I think he's been the best, Brian. For me, looking at those who have served as the commissioner of baseball and the things that have happened under Bud Selig's reign.
As Reynolds strikes out for the first out.
Are the biggest changes in baseball history, and all for the good of the game. And our game, Brian, has reached new heights now in attendance, in money put into players' pockets, the pension fund for players, you name it. Under Bud's reign, baseball has really reached new heights. And
Lyle Overbay slams one to right center. A base hit, jumping on the first pitch from Jackson. And the Brewers have a base runner with one away.
It's hard to believe that Bud Selig is in his final year, Brian. I mean, for all of the things that have happened in baseball, and for those of us who were friends with Bud, and he's the guy that brought me to Milwaukee, and I know you're a friend too. There's nothing about a friendship that Bud Selig doesn't really cherish. From those of us who are in the game, people who surround him who are not in the game. But I'm sad to see him leave in a way, but I'm also seeing him.
Herrera, a little foul pop. That's going to end up in the seats.
I'm also glad to see him out of the game with the things that have happened and in good health and able to enjoy. He's going to enjoy the game. There's no doubt about that. And he's going to be involved in baseball. No matter who's the commissioner, Bud Selig is going to be involved in baseball for as long as he's around.
He'll be a great resource for the new commissioner.
Really?
He goes out on his own terms. He had a very successful run. He is a historian by trade, and he has certainly left his mark. And there have been some elements that I'm sure he would like to have back, but at the same time, the game has grown significantly. I mean, you look at the drug testing situation, that has improved significantly. Labor piece is probably the most important thing, and the most important contribution that Bud Selig has had as the commissioner. It really hasn't. We're on the 20th anniversary of the strike. The Montreal Expos basically lost a franchise because of the strike. They had a chance to maybe go to the World Series that year with the ball club they had in '94. So we're 20 years down the road, and there's a whole generation of fans who don't even know that baseball was so rocky, so tenuous between owners and players.
And do you remember?
That's a long time ago.
Yeah. And do you remember all the rhetoric and all the blasting that Bud Selig took for some of the things that he put into play, and the things that have made baseball bigger and better than it ever has been under Bud's tenure?
Yeah, the wild card, the second wild card
the second
added.
one, that's what got him really ripped.
Herrera hits the bag, and a fair ball down the right field line. Overbay on his way to third, and Overbay's coming home. The ball is bobbled in right, and he will score. So mishandled in right by Ruggiano allows Overbay and Herrera to advance, and the Brewers are up 4-0. And how about Elian Herrera, 2 for 2 today?
Here's that last pitch, and that rip by Herrera right down the line. The ball hit the bag, as Brian said, then into that bullpen area down in right field. You know, the one thing sometimes I've seen it happen here at Wrigley Field before. You see that guy sitting on that chair? Normally, the guy gets up, picks his chair up, and gets out of the way. But on this particular play, he didn't. There he is.
He's awake.
Well, he's one of those guys that could be on the rooftop in my skit, in my comedy skit. That guy's going to be in it.
He's got to be in it.
He's got to be.
And Ruggiano's talking to him right now, like, hey, don't be afraid. There's only
that guy's in.
He could be at the door, I think. Everybody just walking right past him.
He's got to be one of the workers or something.
That's a triple, by the way, for Herrera. So they score that as a 3-base hit and an RBI. And here's Fires at the plate, who dropped down a bunt his last time up. Never put it past him to drop one down here with a runner at third. Cubs have their infield end. They're going to try to cut off a run on a batted ball on the ground. And Fires takes a strike. The Brewers have it going today a little bit. 2 in the first. Both runs coming on a 2-out, 2-strike double by Jeanette. A home run with 2 outs off the bat of Chris Davis in the third. They got the air show going on here in Chicago.
Blue Angels.
Fires takes a ball high. Brewers have hit for the cycle today as a team. Fires trying to add to it. Infield end, Jackson deals, and Fires takes it off the plate. It's somewhat distracting to call a baseball game when these jets are flying over, and they're doing their maneuvers too. That's fascinating to watch.
It's Brewer charter.
That's right.
Out of here.
That's your charter. Nothing but the best. No traffic for you. I'm sure they would take you, actually. They're probably listening in right now.
I've been asked to do that.
Not going to do it, huh?
No, that's Robin Yount did it, and he got sick. So that
everybody gets sick.
That was enough for me. Yeah,
I think every pilot pulls enough G's to make you get sick. They don't put the plane down until you.
That's right.
Until you get sick.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, you're right.
I've never done it.
They'd rather run out of fuel than
that's right.
Get you down with normalcy.
Fires hanging tough. Well, last thoughts on the commissioner situation.
Yeah, I want to know how the vote go.
We don't know. The votes. We're getting reports from various writers who are in Baltimore, but as of right now, there is no commissioner voted in. It's a 2-horse race at this point. Rob Manfred and Tom Warner, whose son Teddy works in the Brewers organization. And they keep voting and voting until somebody has at least 23 votes, is my understanding. And I believe it was Bob Nightingale, maybe John Heyman just reported that 22 votes is where it stands now. So they just keep going back and see if he can convince one way or the other. I don't know if they're going to be looking for smoke in a chimney somewhere, or at some point we could have a commission named. But we'll see what the next commissioner has in store. I know Commissioner Seelig said that international baseball is going to be high on the list moving forward.
What do you think about that?
Out. Boy, it's such a global game, right? And I'm thinking about travel mostly for the players.
I think that's going to be the tough part of it. And we saw that this spring, Brian, with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, the Dodgers in Australia, right?
I don't know about that. It's going to be an international deal, and it would be a big-time thing for baseball. We know that. And this crowd at Wrigley Field is cheering as the Blue Angels are making a run right over the ballpark.
During a pitch.
You'll hear them in a moment. Pretty neat stuff.
That's pretty cool. And they didn't really give us the blast like they could. Gomez at the plate with Herrera at third base.
How about the Skydivers yesterday, too?
Yeah, Skydivers came in.
Nights. Yeah. But international travel, I don't know how they would work that out. I mean, we're having enough problems now with postseason play and the World Series. Running into bad weather, Brian. I think one day we're going to have the Lions playing somebody on Turkey Day and the World Series, being played on the same day. Yeah.
Yes, a few years back it went into November. Remember Derek Jeter, the nickname Mr. November.
Ain't that something?
And it's happened before, and that's something baseball's tried to avoid as Gomez lines one to left and a base hit and an RBI. And the Brewers pouring it on here now. It is 5-0. A couple of runs in this fourth inning. Milwaukee scoring in every inning but the second. As Gomez finally rewarded. He's found the barrel all 3 times tonight.
He's hit the ball hard a couple of times previously. Had nothing to show. Now a line single to left. And an RBI for Carlos also. 5-0 Crew.
That's another 2-out run-producing hit for Milwaukee. 4 of the 5 coming with 2 outs today. And here is Gerardo Parra with Gomez at first. Let's see if he's on the move. There he goes. Pitch out. Castillo's throw, and now Gomez in a rundown. And Gomez always entertaining, even in a rundown, and is finally fetched from behind by Baez, and that will retire the side. But the Brewers score twice. They get an RBI triple from Elian Herrera and an RBI single with 2 outs from Gomez. Herrera's got a couple of hits today, a single and a triple, and it's the Brewers 5, the Cubs 0 as we head to the Cubs half of the fourth.
Here they come again.
Herrera and Gomez in our Carsoup.com trivia. Besides the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, which other sport is Bob Uecker a member of their Hall of Fame? And if you said the WWE, you are correct. Tell them what they've won, Bob. Oh, it's one of the great images ever. I mean, look at the size of those hands. What prompted that? I forgot. You said something about his...
Well, I was doing an interview. We were doing an interview together, and he put his hand on my shoulder. And so I told him, I said, get your foot off of my shoulder. and that's when he grabbed me by the neck, and he wasn't supposed to do that, and he scared me. It was good. It was really funny.
Did he give you the python action?
Yeah, he lifted me a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
We live to tell about it. Andre the Giant. Yeah, I remember when Uke was inducted in 2010. We were down there in Phoenix.
Training.
Yeah, Phoenix. Didn't they have it at the
they had
Glendale there,
yeah,
right?
They had the wrestling match at the home of the St. Louis football Cardinals.
The Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals,
right.
Yeah. And the ceremony or the awards dinner took place at a venue in downtown Phoenix. That was fun. I had a good time. A lot of fun.
One of the great images, Andre the Giant putting the squeeze down on Bob Uecker. Very funny. Baez leads away for the Cubs. We're keeping an eye on Mike Fiers today. He is racking up the Ks. As a matter of fact, he has become the third major league pitcher this year to strike out 4 straight hitters all looking. Mark Burley and Dylan G also did it. Burley of the Blue Jays, G of the New York Mets. Fiers struck out 5 in a row, and the last 4 of those looking across the second and the third. A lot to look at today here at Wrigley Field. It's the biggest crowd of the series. You got the rooftops are jammed up. We got the Blue Angels flying overhead, and the Brewers are up 5-0. And Bob Uecker's on the air with us again today.
Good to be with you, B. Thank you.
Great. Baez swings and misses. Down he goes. Fiers has struck him out twice, and that's number 8. Well, this is something.
Fiers again coming back with a fastball. And here it is, up and away on Baez. And as we've talked throughout this series, Brian, about Baez and how good he looks and what a good swing he has, and people talking about learning the strike zone, I still think a guy like Baez, you don't have to hit strikes all the time. Guys that hit well, they hit those pitches up and away. They hit anything. If they're on a pitcher and they're on a game, they hit anything for the most part.
Well, you think about that home run Rizzo hit yesterday on a first pitch breaking ball that
down
was about 2 feet off the ground, not even.
Yeah,
6 inches off the ground, and he whistled one, pulled it for a home run yesterday. You get in a groove. These guys can hit anything. I kind of like the bad ball hitter in baseball. Here we go. Here's the breaking ball yesterday. That was headed for the dirt. Maldonado's going down to block that pitch, and it ends up in the basket in right center.
Yeah, I like guys who are bad ball hitters too.
Like Pablo Sandoval, we just saw him with the San Francisco Giants. Keeps you on your toes, that's for sure. I'd like to see more. Everybody wants to see more offense, but I'd like to see different kind of offense in baseball. You know, the strike zone, it feels like it's getting smaller and smaller. I don't know if it is or not, but it feels like it. And if you call strikes, if the strike zone opens up a little bit, you promote swinging, which I think promotes offense. It is going to be interesting. We're talking about the new commissioner coming in and some of the changes on the field, the travel, the scheduling. There's going to be a lot on the plate of the new commissioner, and it's been running smoothly under Bud Selig's tenure as commissioner, and that's all coming to an end probably today. Right back to the mound. Fiers makes the play for out number 2.
You know, and as a player, Brian, you know those particular umpires who are squeezers, so to speak, when they work home plate, and as a catcher, you know what they're going to do with you, if they're going to be a little lenient or if they're going to be tight. And I think you call your game and you let your pitcher know with that particular guy how you're going to have to work. And as a hitter, you brought up a good point too. If you got a guy back there who's rather lenient with his strike zone, you're going to promote guys swinging. Otherwise, you know, it's going to be looking and back you go.
I think the one area baseball has to be careful, just my opinion, but as we get into the technology age and we have replays, and replay comes in under Commissioner Selig, that was a long process. And it's a good system. It has its flaws, but it's a good system and a good starting system. But as we get into more technology, as our cameras are able to see better than the human eye, which is happening now, I think we got to be careful as a sport to lose the personality of the sport, personality of the individuals, the umpires. You know, there aren't going to be many Bruce Fremmings anymore.
No.
Dutch Rennerts anymore.
Thank goodness. No, I'm kidding.
And, you know, we need personality in the game. And you have to allow people some space to have that kind of personality.
There's where instant replay has taken a lot away from the game, Brian. I mean, it's good for the game, but it's taken away the arguments that managers had with umpires, and umpires had particular hard feelings towards certain managers. The ejections, which got the crowd going in case you were getting your brains beat out. The manager would come out and argue the call and get thrown out of the game, and the crowd goes crazy. Now you got an instant replay. One of these days we're going to have a drone over the ballpark. Mm-hmm. We are.
Yeah, right. You're going to call everything.
We're going to have a drone over the ballpark. It's coming.
Fires, delivers, and Castro fouls it back. Yeah, I think that's the one area of baseball is, you know, you want to have technology. The bang plays, right? I don't know where you stand on replay. I don't think we've ever really talked about this.
I'm not a big replay guy.
So the bang call. I mean, the one that is just so close that you could barely tell, and even our cameras can barely tell.
Right.
I'm not sure we need those so much as the obvious
I'm with
calls.
you. Yeah,
because that's the one that. I mean, I think those are the ones that are slowing the game down. The game's a great game, and it's great in its beauty and its flow, but there is a lot of dead space in the game. If you can get rid of the dead space, the game flows better.
I guess that's been one of the pluses a lot of people think about baseball. That dead time.
Yeah.
You know? And you know what? In baseball, and we all do this, dead air is really good for baseball, where you hear what's going on.
Castro singles back up the middle, a 2-out base hit.
Outside of the game itself, it's the vendors, the people that you hear in the background for baseball. You don't hear that in football. You don't do that in football. You don't hear it in basketball either. But you hear it in baseball because we have that dead air time between pitches, and where you don't have to talk. You can let silence be your partner for that brief period where you get a chance to hear a little bit of what's going on behind you or down below you.
Some of the beauty of the game, especially on radio, to be able to make you feel like you're there to hear the crowd and and the game needs space like that. And so, yes, I think we'd love to have faster games, but you played in an era when the games clipped along. There was not so much time between innings. Hitters didn't step out and take so much time. Pitchers didn't walk around the mound between every pitch. I mean, so there are elements that they could certainly clean up. But the game itself it's a good game. It's a great game in its pace and its tempo. And we have to be really careful that we don't mess with that.
Yeah, no, I like instant replay. I do. But I like the old part of baseball that you were talking about just now. But you know that one of the beautiful parts about the game is with certain hitters, and in that era that you were talking about, Brian, where we're creatures of habit, so to speak, where hitters have certain habits that they do each and every time they go to the plate. Pitchers, whatever they do, it's all a part of the game that makes baseball the beautiful game that it is. There's no clock. There's no time element in baseball. You know, we say they got the 24-second rule or whatever you want to call it, where you got to be in the batter's box. Do you ever see that enforced? I never.
You got to be careful anytime you start talking about clocks.
No, you can't have a clock here. That's the part of baseball that, you know, there is no time limit on a game. And sometimes we get a little upset that games go 3.5 hours, 4 hours. Tie games, 19-inning games, but they go on and on and on. And you still have those people that are going to hang in there and see the whole 19 innings or 15 innings, whatever it may be. And that's what we do. That's the way baseball is.
Well, it feels a little more nostalgic when you have a day like this at Wrigley Field, celebrating their 100th anniversary. This ballpark, as Fires deals to Valbuena, fly ball into left. And Chris Davis is there to make the play, and Mike Fires rolling right along. He's got a lot of shutdown innings in this game as the Brewers have scored 5. Yuke's heading back to radio.
See you in the 7th.
Okay, he's coming back. And it's 5-0 Brewers. The Crew coming up as we go to the 5th.
Cubs here at Wrigley as we head to the 5th, and in our Crew in the Community today, the Milwaukee Brewers Community Involvement Initiative, known as the Community Achievers Award, recognizes residents throughout the state of Wisconsin each month during the season for displaying extraordinary efforts in their community. All adults and school-age children throughout the state are eligible to participate in the Community Achievers program. And Chris Davis, due out here, is hitting another home run. He's now has 31 since last July, and talked with Chris Davis before today's game, said he doesn't consider himself to be a power hitter, just said that's a product of the good approaches at the plate, trying to continue to improve as a hitter at the plate, being more consistent, hitting for average, extra base hits, and he's come up with a few clutch ones this year, BA.
You know, I heard that as well, and I was very surprised to hear him say that. I was glad to hear him say that. Davey rejoins us here in the booth. I mean, that is a trap, right, for a young hitter to start thinking of yourself as a power hitter. He's got 20 home runs this year, but he's concentrating on being a hitter first, and then the home runs will come, and that's the right thing to say, and that's the right approach to have.
Great approach, because all of a sudden, if you start thinking to yourself as a young hitter that you're a power hitter, you're going to go up there expecting to hit home runs, try to hit home runs. You get into a lot of bad habits that way. He does it the right way.
Harana Parra sends one into deep right center, and Alcantara is going to run it down for the first out of the Brewer 5th inning.
Well, you know what cracked me up? I was listening when you and Uke were on, and as I left, and we had talked about the wind, and then all of a sudden, Chris Davis gets a slider, and he hits it through the wind.
Defies the wind. And I choked again.
Yeah, boy.
I've been trying to, you know, when Euchre's been on, I've been trying to gauge deep fly balls and let Euchre call them. So I'm 0-for-3 now. So I missed both of them yesterday. And then I wasn't, you know, it sounded good, but I wasn't sure it was going out because of that wind. I should have known better. As Lucroy lines one to left, a base hit. Jonathan Lucroy jumping on the first pitch. And he's aboard twice today. A walk and a single and a one-out base runner.
Well, it's good to see Luke swinging the bat like that. And, boy, you know, he does not have a high-maintenance swing. He's short and compact and reminds me so much a Paul Molitor in a lot of ways. You know, there's not a whole lot of movement in there with their body and their swing.
Well, here is Chris Davis. Take you back to that home run in the third inning. Davis at the plate with 2 outs, nobody on, and a quick strike. Powerball home run number 20 for Davis. Joins Mark Reynolds for the most home runs on the club. Quite a year for him. And has a chance. It's an outside chance, but if he gets hot over the final 6 weeks of the season, he could hit 30 homers. He's hit 30 home runs in a 162 game stretch if you combine last year to this year, from the time he hit his first home run last year all around to the calendar this year. But you got to figure he's going to be a guy to have 25 plus homers. He drove in his 60th RBI with that home run in the third. So you hit 25 home runs, you drive in 75, 80 runs. That's a big year for your first full season in the major leagues. What a boost that would be for the Brewers offensively.
Without a doubt, you know, and as we saw that replay of his swing on home run, it was such a effortless swing, you know, and the ball jumps off. Reminds me of your effortless golf swing.
Popped him up. The wind will push it, and Rizzo makes the catch. Right in front of the Brewers dugout. Rizzo stuck with it all the way. And Davis is retired, the second out. Nice play over there by Rizzo.
Well, he did a nice job to really get to the fence on the rail there and really balance himself and stretch out as far as he could to make that catch. He knew exactly where the rail was and braced himself and long arms.
Fighting the sun the whole way. He's had a couple of nice plays today. That was a 3-0 pitch on Chris Davis. He gets the green light and makes an out in foul territory. That'll burn him up. Here's Jeanette with 2 away. At the plate, presented by Wendy's. Scooter Jeanette drove in 2 runs on a 2-out, 2-strike double into right center in the first. 5-0 Brew Crew. The Tigers are taking care of the Pirates today. That game's in the top of the 9th. Last call for Pittsburgh. Tigers lead 5-0 at home. Max Scherzer got the start today for Detroit. Tigers scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th to stretch that lead. Scherzer went 8 shutout innings. Gave up just 3 hits and 14 strikeouts today for Max Scherzer.
I tell you, the Tigers would love to kind of lock him in, but he's not doing it right now. He doesn't want a long-term deal right now with the Tigers.
And he's made it this far. You know he's going to take it till the end. That's probably one of the main motivations outside of acquiring a pitcher for a pennant race like David Price. But one of the other motivations was to make sure they have somebody in place. Price is not a free agent until after next season. If the Tigers do lose Max Scherzer to free agency, then at least they'll still have David Price. But it came with a price, no pun intended, giving away 2 major prospects and a big league pitcher, Drew Smyly, who was outstanding in his last start for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, I think David Dombrowski, the president and GM of the Tigers, that, you know, they want to win, and they're going to try to. They know they have their hands full with the Royals, so they're going to. They know they want to go out and try to win this thing.
Been a tough stretch for the Tigers ever since that trade, as a matter of fact. You never know, sometimes you put pieces together and it doesn't quite work. Tigers have lost 7 of 10 despite having 3 Cy Young Award winners in succession in that rotation. Tigers did avoid a scare with Justin Verlander, his injured shoulder, which knocked him out of the game earlier in the week, showed no structural damage, just inflammation. Lucroy takes off. Jeanette fouls it away, keeps the inning alive.
Well, you know, there's been talk too. They were wondering, you know, can a rookie manager like Brad Ausmus take the Tigers to the pennant? You know,
great question.
Yeah, there's been some questions about that, and if he has that experience down the stretch, to be able to get those guys through.
They go from Jim Leland to Brad Ausmus. Ausmus has a lot of respect, but managing in a pennant race, right? That's a lot different. Jeanette draws the walk. Pitch gets by Castillo. Lucroy's going to stay put. So Scooter reaches for the second time. And now first and second with 2 outs for Mark Reynolds. And Renteria is going to make a change here. So Edwin Jackson unable to get through 5 innings for the Cubs. And Renteria will make the call to his bullpen. The Brewers have chased the Cubs starter. It's 5-0. We'll take a break. Back in the Cubs dugout. Jackson's ERA now at 5.74 for the season. He's got 2 runners that are his responsibility. Jacob Turner's in the game now for the Cubs. Have been with the Marlins, and this will be his 21st appearance of the season. As the Brewers get to the Cubs bullpen in the 5th inning. 5 runs are in. Brewers have 7 hits. They've got a home run today from Chris Davis, who joined Reynolds with 20 homers. First 2 to 20 on the club. You figure Gomez will get to 20. He's sitting on 18. Ramos Ramirez has an outside chance to get there. Ryan Braun, you figure, to get to 20 to 25 home runs. Second most home runs in the National League, the Brewers as a team, trailing the Rockies. The Cubs have hit their fair share of home runs as well. They're up over 100 home runs this season. They went back-to-back last night. Rizzo leads the pace. 27. He's second in the league behind Giancarlo Stanton. 2 on, 2 out. Here's a 1-1. Reynolds takes a ball.
Boy, does anybody hit a home run further than Giancarlo Stanton?
I don't think so.
Boy,
I'd like to see maybe Javier Baez in the home run derby in the near future. That'd be a fun one to watch. Stanton hit one 470 the other day. That's where it landed. So if you carry the arc down, you know, it landed up high, second level basically. If you carry the arc down, well, he's closer to 500 feet.
Yeah, matter of fact, if it seemed like when he hit that ball that if it wasn't anything there, it would have traveled a hell of a lot further.
There's just happened to be a building in his way.
Yeah, that's right.
Stan is in more home runs 450 feet or more than any other combined home runs for teams this year. As Reynolds pops this one up into left, and Coughlin will make the catch. Turner gets out of the inning. The Brewers strand 2. They lead 5-0. Fires back to work in the 5th. Wisconsin is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Miller Lite, now in the original can, it's Miller time. So far, so good here for the Brew Crew in the final game of the series with the Cubs. And the Brewers trying to earn a split in this 4-game series. Winning the opener Monday, Mike Fiers has been the headliner thus far. Fiers with 4 shutout, has 8 strikeouts, and at one point struck out 5 in a row, and the last 4 of those were looking. And in the last 25 years, the only guy with 5 consecutive strikeouts looking was Kerry Wood right here at Wrigley Field, that 20 strikeout game in May of 1998 against the Astros. Been a couple of 4 consecutive looking Ks this year with Mark Burley as one of them from the Toronto Blue Jays. Dee Gillen, the other of the Mets. Fiers accustomed to racking up the strikeouts. He had a 13 strikeout performance against the Cubs minor leaguers in AAA, against the Cubs AAA club Iowa. Javier Baez part of that team, as was Alcantara, the lead Cubs batter here in this 5th inning.
Boy, you mentioned Kerry Wood. Boy, at one time they thought Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor were going to be the anchors on that team for years. Both threw the ball so well.
Alcantara takes a strike. It's 1-2. Yeah, that's why you got to be very careful. Doug Melvin reminds us all the time on this side of the fence with the media. And, you know, I'm as guilty as anyone, but you start to look at the prospects, how guys do when they first get to the big leagues. Doesn't translate into long-term success, as Mike Fiers racks up another K. Second time he's gotten Alcantara. And that's number 9 for Fiers.
Yeah, and once again, it was on an elevated fastball.
But Davey has promised earlier in the broadcast we now have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Don't forget you can use the hashtag #WisFanPhoto. It comes from Meg hanging out. It's all brought to you by AT&T. Thanks, Meg. Strike 1 to Justin Ruggiano. wave and a miss. I hear you chuckle over there. It is amazing how Fiers does it.
Oh, I tell you, the guys, he has guys going back, scratching their head because they sit on that fastball, throws a little cutter or breaking ball.
Count stays at 0-2. Most of the strikeouts, at least 6 of the 9, have come from the bottom half of the order. 5 through 9. Hitters 5 through 9 in the Cubs order. 0 for 7 with 6 Ks. Ruziano struck out looking in the second.
See, and that's what happens when you are a command pitcher and have good breaking ball, and you can spot that fastball. With an aggressive swinging team like the Cubs, you can really get them off balance.
0-2. Fiers delivers and a swing and a miss. Another strikeout. Mike Fiers with 10 Ks today, and we're only in the 5th inning.
Look at this fastball, right up, elevated just by the shoulders. Can't catch up with that ball at all. My goodness.
That matches a career high for Fiers. It is the 4th occasion that he has struck out at least 10 batters in the big leagues. Hasn't happened since 2012 when he struck out 10 against the Astros. Well, the Pirates lose today. That game is now final. Detroit hangs on to beat the Pirates 5-2. And Max Scherzer goes to 14-4, drops his ERA under 3. Scherzer beat Liriano today. So the Brewers get to look at that score the rest of the day, with the Tigers winning at home and Milwaukee a chance to up their lead in the division to 2.5 games over the Pirates. Cardinals do play later today. The Brewers lead over St. Louis is 2 to start play. Cardinals will have John Lackey on the mound against San Diego tonight. Reds play tonight as well in Colorado. Alfredo Simon pitches for Cincinnati.
And I just saw where Homer Bailey went on the DL. Yeah.
Yep, the Reds are having a tough year on the injury front, losing Brandon Phillips. They had Latos on the DL to start the year. Joey Votto is disabled. And one of those years for Brian Price in his first year. Tough to navigate those waters. There's a curveball that misses somehow.
Ooh, my goodness.
It looked like a strike when it started and a strike when it ended. But it goes to 3-2. Even Castillo has to smile about that one.
Yeah, he took it, but he knew he couldn't hit it. That's why he took it.
So a full count. Fiers has not walked a batter. He's only given up 2 hits. Rizzo a double in the first, and then Castro singled in the 4th. That's it. Payoff pitch coming. And he misses his first walk. Well, the Cubs get a base runner, and they will send their pitcher to the plate, Jacob Turner.
You know, that's one of the things Mike Fiers didn't want to do, is walk Castillo with the pitcher coming up with 2 outs, and just missed badly with the breaking ball.
Fiers has not been in the stretch much here today. He's only faced 2 batters out of the stretch thus far today. This will be his 3rd. So he's been able to keep in the windup. He's had a good rhythm going. Turner just came into the game to get the final out of the 5th inning, stranding 2 runners that belong to Edwin Jackson. You know, maybe if it's 1-0 or 2-0, Maybe even if it's 3-0, you'd see a pinch hitter in a spot like this. But 5-0 in the 5th. Renteria doesn't want to burn a position player.
Yeah, he doesn't want to burn a position player. He doesn't want to burn up his bullpen. You know, you're exactly right. I mean, if it was with 5-0, nah.
Take your chances.
Yep.
And that'll be another strikeout for Mike Fiers. That is a new career high. 11 punch-outs. See them all as we go to break. Fiers with 5 shutout. Done something he's never done in a big league game, and he's still rolling.
The 6th inning, and Monday, September 8th, is social media night at Miller Park. You can cheer on the Brewers alongside fellow social media junkies, plus enjoy a special pregame appearance by the player you elect as the most valuable tweeter, all for just $25. You can visit brewers.com/social media night for tickets. And before the game, we did an interview with Brewers Director of Professional Scouting, Zach Manasian, and he spoke about Mike Fiers and said that when they scouted him, they knew he was an aggressive pitcher and just had a gut feel about him, that he would be successful here in the big leagues. He was a strike thrower, and he can do different things. The deception that he has, and also with that deception and his delivery, that the velocity only reads at high 80s, but when it comes out of his arm, it looks 94, 95 to the hitter. He can throw all pitches for strikes, and he has certainly thrown a lot of those today. A career-high 11 strikeouts for him today.
All right, Sophia, thank you. And big tip of the hat goes to Brewer scout Charlie Sullivan. And at some point, scouts have to play their heart, their hunches about a guy, the competitive nature of a guy, even though the stuff might not show up. But, you know, that's one of the reasons why you can't just totally rely on paperwork, numbers, velocity. Sometimes you have to put eyes on a player, and Charlie Sullivan went to bat for him, said he's a competitive guy that has a little quirk. He's a little unorthodox in his delivery, and that might buy him a few extra miles per hour, and it has worked. And he has been fantastic today, Mike Fiers, as Overbay bounces out for the first out of the 6th. Think about these 2 starts by Fiers. He goes 8 innings and beat Zach Greinke on Saturday. He's gone 5 shutout with 11 strikeouts, a new career high today, following a Brewers loss when the Brewers needed it most. We'll see how long he can keep it going here. 5 innings, 11 Ks, just 1 walk. And just the 2 hits, a double and a single. Fiers will hit next. Here's Herrera. He's had a nice day. 2 hits, a single, a bunt single, and then he tripled in a run in the 4th.
You know, for the limited time of play for Herrera, I mean, he's come in and done a nice job in whatever position they've asked him to play. You know, he puts the ball in play. Smart, heady ball player.
Is in our Southwest Airlines non-stoppable play today. That was a big one for the Brewers. That triple took it from a 3-0 game to a 4-0 game. And then Herrera would score on Gomez's base hit. Bounce to Castro. Jacob Turner has retired the first 2. He's got 3 in a row since coming in. A couple of ground ball outs here in the 6th. And here comes Fiers. Fiers dropped down a sac bunt in the 2nd inning. Had a couple of sacrifice bunts in AAA this year. That came with 2 strikes.
Yeah.
And then he struck out in the 4th.
He looked a lot more comfortable bunting than he did swinging the bat. Kind of like a lot of pitchers. There are some pitchers that they love to go up and swing the bat and hit.
Well, he's got the swing the bat part down.
But the contact part.
The hit part's not quite there yet. Fiers has 3 hits in his career. Squared that one up, but right at the third baseman Balbuena, and that will retire the side. 1-2-3. The Brewers go on the 6th. It's 5-0 Milwaukee. Fiers back on the mound.
League matchup between the Brewers and the Blue Jays Tuesday, August 19th and Wednesday, August 20th, when the clubs face off in a brief 2-game series with playoff implications in both leagues. You can call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com for tickets. BA?
All right, Sophia, thanks. That'll be fun. The Blue Jays in town for 2. Brewers are looking for a little payback on the Toronto Blue Jays. Milwaukee got swept in a 2-game series in Toronto last month, and they'd love to return the favor at Miller Park. There's your headliner right now. Mike Fiers has 11 Ks through 5 shutout innings. The Brewers go 286 games between double-digit strikeout performances by a pitcher, and Fiers is the bookend on those. So the last 10 or more strikeout game for the Brewers was Mike Fiers back in September of 2012. It was the second longest drought, I guess you'd call it, of 10 strikeout games, second only to the Minnesota Twins. And Fiers is on both ends of it. He has 11, which is a career high. And Fiers back to work as he faces the top of the order. Oh, what a lift this is for the Brewers to get Mike Fiers doing what he's doing in his last 2 starts.
You know, it's a lift because he's picking up Garza, and the rotation hasn't missed a beat, and then it saves the bullpen what he's doing.
Now, speaking of that, got to give some credit to Marco Estrada last night. Even though the Brewers lost 4-2 in last night's game, and you mentioned this last inning concerning the Cubs and Jacob Turner, and how Renteria didn't want to burn his bullpen up. That could have happened last night. Kyle Loesch had to leave the game with an ankle injury after just 3 innings. And so now you're sitting there. You got 6 innings to cover. You're down 4-0. Marco Estrada came on. He went 4 scoreless innings. Took him just 52 pitches. And the Brewers only needed 3 pitchers last night. And Kinsler only went 1 inning. So, I mean, the bullpen is in a great position. The Brewers don't have a day off until Monday. So they know they have all these games in a row. And even in a loss, the Brewers were able to cash it forward to be able to buy some time for their bullpen, primarily because of Marco Estrada's effort.
And it was a great effort, too. Nice job.
There's a swing and a miss, and Coughlin is down on strikes. Number 12 for Mike Fiers. And with every K, he sets a new career best.
You know, it's interesting. He had a little tail, a little movement on that ball. Looked like it started toward the middle of the plate and then just cut away, a little two-seamer. And that's that deception that Mike Fiers has. Just elevated it a little bit.
12 strikeouts for Fiers. Here's Javier Baez, who has struck out twice, and he takes strike 1. The only thing that's going to get Mike Fiers is going to be the pitch count. He's sitting at 97 right now. And Baez fouls one off Lucroy. You know, if he gets through the 6th, and he's comfortably through the 6th, he might get the 7th. See how Renicky plays it, but he's not gonna leave Fiers out there too much over 110, I wouldn't imagine. I mean, he's not going to run that risk. With a pitcher making just his second start.
You know, BA, I tell you, he'd rather try to have nice break.
Another K.
Buckled it.
Number 13 for Fiers, and Baez has the hat trick today.
And this breaking ball, BA, is tough. Oh my goodness, the knees buckled. Good old-fashioned curveball right there.
They call him Uncle Charlie's. That one's more. You got to be a little more protective. That's more of a.
That's a Lord. That's a Lord Charles.
I like the Lord. I was going with Sir, but I like your Lord.
Lord Charles.
That's good.
That's royalty right there.
That is royalty. Well done. 2 outs, and here's Rizzo, and he takes a strike.
You know, that's one of the reasons this pitch count is up. Is with all the strikeouts, you know, it does elevate your pitch count.
Well, Fiers has set a Wrigley Field season high for strikeouts here today. It had been 11, including Edwin Jackson. Mostly fastballs from Fiers, and those wipeout curveballs he's throwing once he gets ahead in the count. There's one there. Rizzo lines one to right, and a base hit. So Rizzo is 2 out of 3 against Fiers today. And a 2-out single. Just the 3rd hit Fiers is allowed. Just the 4th base runner. And a man on for Starlin Castro. Fiers 13 strikeouts, tied for 4th in team history.
Never forget that. Was it 20 the strikeouts with Ben Sheets against the Atlanta, was it Dodgers or Atlanta Braves? Atlanta Braves, yeah. Boy.
Castro and Rizzo, the only 2 Cubs who have not struck out today against Fiers. Two outs, runner at first. The Brewers team record is that Ben Sheets game, had 18 Ks against Atlanta that Davey referenced. That was back in May of 2004. May 16, 2004. 18 strikeouts. Fiers has a chance at it on paper, but again, I don't think he's going to be around long enough to get there. The most pitches he's thrown in a game this year was in AAA. He threw 117 in a 13 strikeout game against Iowa, the Cubs AAA team. He'd be a tough guy to pull the trigger on right now, though.
Well, you know, with the shutout going the whole bit, but I think you're right, BA. You know, if he gets through this inning, and he'll probably go out for the 7th, but you just don't want to risk going over, 110 pitches. He's at 105 right now.
0-2 the count on Castro. And he got him. Fiers strikes out another one. 14 strikeouts for Mike Fiers. 6 shutout innings. 5-0 Brewers. We go to the 7th. Yes, they are getting some offense, much needed offense, scoring twice in the first inning. Got a home run from Chris Davis in the third and then added 2 in the fourth. But Mike Fiers is putting together one of those days on the mound with 14 strikeouts through 6 innings. Ron Renicky has his bullpen active right now. Fiers might have made his last pitch. And if that's the case, 6 shutout innings with 14 Ks, that's going to be one to remember for Mike Fiers. Zach Duke is getting loose in the bullpen. Yeah, it looks like Fiers is done. He's not in a posture to continue on. Usually pitchers aren't so chatty between innings when they're still in the game. Gomez leads off. He'll be followed by Parra, then Lucroy. 7th inning from Wrigley Field. Brian Anderson, Bob Uecker is back with us. Gomez trying to add to his day. What a performance by Mike Fiers today.
How about Mikey, huh? Done it with everything. Good fastball, nice changeups. How about striking out the side 3 times today?
14 Ks. We were talking about the and you'll remember this because you were there. I was not, but in 2004 when Ben Sheets had 18 strikeouts, that is the franchise record. And he's about on that pace. The problem is the pitch count's going to get Fiers. Looks like he's coming out.
Ben Sheets did that during an afternoon game, and it got a little tough to see later on in the afternoon. You know how it is at Miller Park.
Right.
It got a little tough to see, and it was one of those games where, hitters had a tough time seeing, and guys basically wanted to get it over with. I think that was against Atlanta. Was that right?
Yep, Atlanta. Yeah. May of 2004.
Yep.
Fiers has sent us to the computers for some superlatives as Gomez strikes out. By the way, Fiers 14 strikeouts today, the most ever by a Brewer in a road game. The most ever. You've called just about every game ever in Brewers history. This is something that you've never seen before.
No, I haven't, and he's done 10 or more 3 times, or 10 3 times in his career, but to do it here today, and especially after the last couple of games, the Brewers needed a big-time outing, and they're getting it from Fiers today.
Arada Parra fouls one away. So let's take you down memory lane here.
Okay.
Since you're so sharp today. You've already created a new sitcom.
I got that going.
So that's done.
We're doing that. We're still working on it.
There's another 100 million. And so
you're in.
Ben, I'm in. You put me in a line. I mean, writer's contribution, right? Ben Sheets, 18 Ks in 04. You mentioned that. All right. Moose Haas had 14 Ks against the Yankees. That was 78.
Yeah, way back.
That was at County Stadium.
Way back.
The other 14 strikeout game, other than Fiers today, was Giovanni Gallardo. Actually, just a couple of months before Fiers did it in 2012. So that would have been July of 12. Gallardo struck out 14 against the Pirates. I was there for that one. I don't remember much about that game, so he must have had a good game. That was at Miller Park as well.
You know, with Fiers, he had a good outing against the Giants. Was that his last?
Dodgers last time.
Last time.
Yep.
That's right, against Greinke. Yep. And then to do it today again, when they really needed a big game out of a starting pitcher, Brian, and
Parra, a little soft liner to third for the second out.
Getting it here against the Cubs at Wrigley Field, against a club that's been playing pretty well over the last couple of days. And even in the opening game of the series, the one the Brewers won, the Cubs were right in that one too until the end. But to cut him down today the way he has, and especially the guy at second, Baez, and to strike out the side 3 times, big day for Fiers and a big day for the crew.
Yeah, you know, you go through the top strikeout games in Brewers franchise history, and Ben Sheets, you're good with that. You get it. Threw hard, great curveball.
Yeah.
Moose Haas, big name. One of the legendary names in Brewers history. Gallardo has been an opening day starter the last 5 years, and then Mike Fiers puts himself on that list.
You know, and as I said before, that game that Sheets pitched, I remember that one, Brian. I really do, because it was an afternoon game against the Braves, and it was a game where, you know how it gets late afternoon at Miller Park and even over at Old County Stadium. I mean, any ballpark. Late afternoon games tough to see. This one too, talking about Wrigley Field. But that day the Braves wanted to get out. I mean, that was the final game of the series, and Sheets was on his game that day, and he was one after another.
Sheets had some great years with the Brewers and was every bit of an ace around the league. You could match his stuff when he was right. That window when he was on top of his game, he was as good as anybody going in the game at that point. What a curveball.
He threw hard. I was just going to say, Brian, he had that great breaking ball, a curveball, and threw it hard, and it was a big breaking ball, and had a lot of guys bailing out and not wanting any part of it.
Sheets retired now. We got a chance to see him earlier this year as they unveiled the Wall of Honor.
Yeah.
Came back with his kids and had a good time with Ben Sheets. Finished up his career with the A's at the big league level. It's always a shame thinking about 2008, what could have been, with the potential as Lucroy bounces to short, the potential of Sheets, Gallardo, and then ultimately CC Sabathia.
Oh, yeah.
Never happened that way. Well, it's Fiers' day today. He's done 14 strikeouts, 6 shutout innings. Bottom of the 7th. And Mike Fiers, you'll be seeing the highlights all night tonight. Shining moment brought to you by the Marshfield Clinic, and had a ton of shining moments. How about 14 of them? Mike Fiers, the first Brewer ever in franchise history to have 14 strikeouts and no runs allowed. Second most strikeouts in a game in franchise history, behind only Ben Sheets, who had 18 in 04. And 6 shutout innings in just his second start of the season, giving the Brewers a big lift. He's got a chance to win both of his starts after going 8 innings and only 1 run against Zach Greinke and the Dodgers last Saturday. He's got more strikeouts than I have commentary for. Finally, the highlight reel ended. Those were all 14 Ks. And now it's going to be Zach Duke out of the bullpen here in the 7th.
Yeah, and you know the other thing, Brian, when you're working with a guy like Mike Fiers, catching him, really nice.
Oh, I mean,
it's fun. You're not moving, you're not diving around back there. Everything is, right around the plate. Put a sign down and a target, and he's right there. Makes your job catching really a lot of fun when you got a guy working like that.
The Brewers very fortunate with their 2 catchers. They take great pride in the work behind the plate, all the work that goes into game planning. And if you go into the clubhouse before today's game, 2 hours before the game, there you see Lucroy sitting with Fiers. They have the iPad out. They're looking at video, which is how they scout a lot of these hitters now. They're going through each batter, each sequence. If we get to this, we'll throw this. And these catchers, they feel it. They don't get a lot of the credit when a pitcher pitches so well, but they certainly feel the responsibility of a successful day like this.
Yeah, it's totally different than it was years back, where, at the start of a series, you used to look at still photos. That's all you looked at. And colored pencils, different colors for each pitcher. You would look at that at the start of each series, and that's the last you did of anything like that.
Valbuena bounces to second, and Duke retires his first batter face.
And every guy had a different color, as I said, Brian. And as you looked at the chart for that particular team you were playing, you could see, blue, a lot of baseballs hit to left field, some to right, yellow hit to one part of the ballpark. They were all different, but that's the last you look. Today, as you said a moment ago, prior to the game, they're sitting down there with Rick Kranitz, the catcher, the pitcher for today, and going over as to how you're going to work against the Cubs.
It is quite the science.
Totally different, yeah,
for a catcher. I mean, and I'm amazed that catchers can hit, the good hitting catchers. There's a shot right at Jeanette. Makes it an easy hop for himself, and there is out number 2 as Alcantara is retired. The fact that Lucroy can maintain a 300 batting average, taking the beating he does behind the plate, going through the game planning as he does, and when Renicky talks about allowing Lucroy to play first, and that feels like a day off for him, that's why. He doesn't have to get involved in the game plan that way.
The other thing that's changed a lot today, Brian, is catchers taking signs from the dugouts, where the manager or the pitching coach or your bench coach calls the game. I don't particularly like that. I like where you're working the game yourself. You're doing the catching. You might as well make the calls. You're down there and looking at each and every hitter as they come up there, and know more about it than that guy in the dugout. No rip at the bench coach or anybody else. I don't like that when the catcher doesn't call his own game. And the bottom line is, the guy on the mound's got the ball. He's going to throw what he wants anyway. If he doesn't want what you call, just throw whatever you want. I'll catch it.
And if it's coming from the bench, pitcher's got to throw it, right? I mean, he feels like he has to.
Yeah.
He sees that catcher looking at it.
For the most part. Yeah, and fans, as they come to the ballpark and look at the games and watch the game and watch it in its totality and watch the catcher looking into the dugout every once in a while, most times on every pitch for some catchers, I think Jonathan Lucroy has the luxury of calling his game. But there are times when Ron Renicky or his bench coach, Jerry Narron, in this instance, may want to call the pitch. And you got to look in there and you got to call what they say. But again, bottom line is if that guy out there doesn't want to throw it, he's got the ball.
That's a fascinating science to watch catchers work, especially these days, to see the hours that they put in before the games. Pays off today with Fiers and Luke Croy. Luke Croy will take great pride in it. I guarantee you, talk to Luke Croy after the game today, and Luke Croy has a hit and a walk. He's done some damage offensively. The first thing he's going to talk about is Mike Fiers.
Yep, I'm with you.
2 outs, full count. Duke trying to make it a quick bottom of the 7th, filling in for Fiers, who goes 6, and there is a shot back up the middle and a base hit. So a 2-out base runner. So you're going to go over, you're going to finish this game on the radio with Joe Block. You're going to head back to Milwaukee, and then we're going to hear you again on Tuesday.
Yes. I'll be back. I'll be waiting for you guys at General Mitchell Field on Sunday evening when you get back.
All right.
I'll be there.
Got a nice homestand, a big one, too, of contending teams, the Blue Jays and the Pirates.
I like it.
It'll be fun.
I like it a lot, yeah.
Great to be involved in a pennant race, and it's been a nice run here over the last few years. You saw so many years at Miller Park and back in the County Stadium. The Brewers had so many lean years, and you know, it's been a nice run here, and hopefully they're going to be able to take this to the end. There's nothing better than Miller Park in a pennant race. Loud, fun, a lot of excitement, great place to be.
You know, the best place to be, Brian, and all that, you know, rhetoric revolving around the pennant race and the nervousness and all the stuff that goes with it on the field.
Yeah.
That's the best place to be.
Oh, man, I wouldn't know.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, I don't know either. You know, I was a bench guy, too. But it's, you know, bases loaded. I used to think about that all the time. Bases loaded, winning run at third, or winning run at second base, nobody out. The best place to be is on the field. You're not nervous. You're really not. Nothing to it. It's part of what you do. Even on the bench. Nobody there. Everybody's in tune.
There's a bouncer to short, and Herrera with a nice pickup and throws it into the seats. Well, Herrera did everything right except finish off the play. That was a beautiful pickup on a tough hop. But that's going to be an error, and the door is open a little bit for the Cubs here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, easy play for him after he finally picked it up. He had plenty of time, too. A lot more time than he thought with Wellington Castillo running. And he just overthrew Overbay, and the Cubs wind up with a runner at each base, second and third.
And now Duke going to have to bear down here, try to keep the Cubs down. You don't want to give them any life. They have their best crowd of the series. They have over 38,000 here at Wrigley today. First time a Cub base runner has reached third base after the E6. Second and third, 2 outs. Chris Valaika is the pinch hitter. Duke deals strike one. At the top of the order coming up next, big spot for Zach Duke. All 4 Cubs hits in this game have come with 2 outs. And now the error that has opened the door a little bit. Jeremy Jeffress loosening in the Brewers bullpen. Him up. The wind's going to throw that one into the seats. Overbay gave it a good look. Strange day here at Wrigley in August. I tell you, the wind blowing in like this feels like more of an April day or maybe a late September, October day here.
It's salting the streets here this morning. It is. It's cool here.
You slide right off the road if you're not careful. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Duke slings one in. That is going to sneak through. A base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes Castillo, and he's in. And just like that, the Cubs are within striking distance here. That error opened it up. That's a 2-strike, 2 out, 2 RBI base hit by Valaika, the pinch hitter.
Well, here it is one more time. Valaika down and away. That wasn't all that bad of a pitch from Zach Duke, but he hit it past a diving Elian Herrera, and the Cubs get 2. And it's a 3-run difference now. 5-2 Brewers, and the top of the order now.
And a left-handed hitter is Chris Coghlan. Just looking down at the lineup here, there are 2 outs. You got a right-handed batter next, Baez. If Coghlan reaches, you might see Jeffries come in at that point, especially with the power that Baez has shown. So this is a big hitter here for the Brew Crew, and Zach Duke at a power bat waiting to hit next. Jeffers is ready to go. Lee Tunnell, the bullpen coach, tipping the hat. Could be Duke's last hitter. Coghlan's 0 for 3 today. A couple of strikeouts. Bouncing ball. Herrera's got this one, and he'll step on the bag for the out to end the inning. Well, Uke, thanks a lot all week. Appreciate your time.
Good to be with you, B. Good luck in Los Angeles. I'll see you guys when you get back.
All right. See you, Uke.
To 2, and Gene Segura makes his all-fan bobblehead debut Sunday, August 24th, as the Brewers will take on the Pittsburgh Pirates in a showdown of Central Division foes. All fans at Miller Park on the 24th will receive a Gene Segura bobblehead, courtesy of Pepsi. Call 414-902-4000, or you can visit Brewers.com to reserve your spot today. And the Pirates just making a move to pick up former Brewers closer John Axford from the Cleveland Indians off of the waiver wires.
All right, thank you, Sophia. That is big news. Axford goes to the Pirates and back in the Central Division. Remember, he pitched for the Cardinals last season, made it to the World Series. Yuji Fujikawa is on the mound for the Cubs here. Just his 3rd appearance. Jacob Turner able to get through 2 1/3 for the Cubs. The Brewers chased the starter, Edwin Jackson, with 2 outs in the 5th inning. All 5 runs coming against Edwin Jackson. Yeah, the blankets are out in August. Who'd have thunk it? It is cool. The wind's blowing in, so coming off Lake Michigan, and this can be a very cold viewing experience here at Wrigley Field. It's perfect on the field. The sun's out, but the wind blowing in. And we'll see if the Brewers can add to their lead now. It's tightened up. Davey Nelson returns. We head to the 8th. It's 5-2 after that error by Herrera. Davis skies one into left field. That is way up there. And Castro makes a catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. Here's Scooter Gennett.
That foul ball's, or actually started in fair territory at shortstop and just drifted all the way into The wind pushed it all the way in the foul territory.
Yeah, he made it look easy, did Castro. Can't imagine that is an easy ball to play. One gone on one pitch. Kyuji Fujikawa coming off Tommy John ligament replacement surgery. Activated off the disabled list last week. A 14-month recovery from Tommy John surgery. Pitched 12 years in Japan. He played in the Central League in Japan for the Hanshin Tigers. Made his major league debut with the Cubs last year. Actually recorded a save on opening day of last season. Started to have some elbow troubles and ended up needing surgery. Cubs have two Japanese pitchers on their roster. Tsuyoshi Wada, who started yesterday and pitched well in yesterday's game, got the win. And Fujikawa.
Yeah, and both pitchers from Japan had Tommy John surgery. He's got a little deception to his delivery. Gets a little movement on his fastball.
1-2 to Jeanette. And a swing and a miss. Down he goes. 2 up, 2 down. And the first strikeout for Fujikawa. Going to bring up Mark Reynolds. Now Reynolds and Chris Davis tied atop the Powerball home run leaderboard. Both have homered in this series. Davis's home run came earlier today. Reynolds' homer at Wrigley came in game 1 on Monday. Remember that great catch by the fan? That was on the Reynolds home run. I'm sure you've seen the highlights by now. Yeah, Reynolds pops this one foul and out of play. Brewers have 6 big outs to get. And they're going to have to go through the heart of their order. Got Baez leading off, Rizzo, and then Castro. Looks like Will Smith will have the 8th inning. We'll try to get the ball to Frankie Rodriguez. The game can change quickly. Brewers are up 5-0, 2 outs, nobody on. Then a hit and an error. And then a 2 RBI single by the pinch hitter Valleca. And it's 5-2. Reynolds looking for his first hit of the day. A couple of strikeouts. Fujikawa from the stretch despite nobody on, and Reynolds sends that one deep. Way back. Mark Reynolds, number 21. And the Brewers get one of their runs back. 6-2 Milwaukee as Reynolds goes deep for the second time in this series. A solo shot with 2 outs. And 5 of the 6 runs for the Brewers coming with 2 outs. It's the second home run of the day.
Yeah, and it was a little breaking ball that was a no-doubter when it left the bat of Mark Reynolds. It cut through the teeth of the wind. Put a charge in it.
Badger Mutual Insurance run of the game. Reynolds and Davis go deep despite the wind here at Wrigley Field. That was a big one for the Brew Crew and a big smile for Mark Reynolds. 21 homers, 42 runs batted in. Has 7 home runs, does Reynolds, since the All-Star break. Boy, that comes with 2 outs and 2 strikes.
Well, and you just mentioned that 5 of the 6 runs come with 2 outs, and this is what the Brewers were doing well on that last road trip and homestand, getting those big clutch 2-out hits.
They have gotten a number of them today, and it started in the first inning. Scooter Gennett had a 2-out, 2 RBI double. That put the Brewers on the board for the first time. Davis's homer came with 2 outs. Carlos Gomez had a 2-out RBI single in the 4th inning, and now Reynolds with a solo home run with 2 away in the 8th. Those are backbreakers for an opposition. Just when you think you're getting out of an inning.
Yeah, and you just want to keep that momentum in your favor, and then let them right back in the ball game, or get you out of the ball game again.
The Brewers have hit 5 home runs in this series as Overbay draws the walk, and all 5 have been solo homers. Maldonado and Ricky Weeks went back-to-back yesterday. Reynolds has 2, Davis with 1. Here's Herrera now. Mark Reynolds getting the start today at third base. Think about this lineup today for the Brewers, scoring 6 runs on 8 hits. No Braun, no Ramirez, no Segura. Herrera with a base hit to right center. So it's a 3-hit game for Elian Herrera. Had a 5-hit game earlier this year at Miller Park. That was right before the All-Star break against the Cardinals. Gets a chance to start today at short and delivers with 3 hits. First and second with 2 outs. 3 consecutive base runners have reached. Chris Bosio's on his way to the mound with Fujikawa's interpreter.
Elian Herrera, this guy just does a nice job. He hit that ball, hit it where it's pitched, and I always tell him I just love to see you because you always got a smile on your face. Very happy young man, and does a great job wherever the Brewers put him.
And he's one of those rare guys that can play shortstop, that plays so many other positions. I mean, you can find a lot of guys that can play third or second, and maybe the corner outfield spots, but then to find that extra piece of a guy who can play all those positions and shortstop and do it pretty well, even though he has an error today. He's a pretty good shortstop. Has good range, a good arm.
Yeah. You remember Cesar Tovar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Played every position in one game.
Valuable.
Yes.
Those guys are so valuable.
They are.
All right, so Herrera extends the inning, and now Ricky Weeks will get an at-bat. He'll pinch hit for Zach Duke. The Brewers have 9 hits, 5 of them with 2 outs. 5 of the 6 runs coming with 2 outs. Weeks would love to add a couple of more here. He's got Overbay at second. Herrera at first. Two 2-0.
Well, Ricky's another one of these players who's so strong he could put a charge and cut through the teeth of this wind.
Homered last night, did Ricky Weeks. Had a swing at it, and it goes to 1-2. Fujikawa. And a 1-2 count. Brewers have 2 on. And Ricky takes a called strike 3, and the inning is over. But the Brewers score a run. They get one back. Mike Fiers strikes out 14. He's story number 1. The Brewers land long ball and 2-out hitting. Story number 2. Mark Reynolds with a homer. And it's 6-2 Milwaukee. Two unearned runs in the bottom of the 7th, but got one back on a Reynolds homer. A couple of home runs today with the wind blowing in swiftly. Davis and Reynolds. And the new pitcher, Davey's going to be Will Smith, so he has settled back into that setup role, pitching much better as of late. Still having a great season overall if you look at the numbers.
Oh, without a doubt. And, you know, he's coming on for the 61st or 62nd time. Actually got a record of 1-3. A 3.44 ERA, but he has just come back. I mean, he was used an awful lot in the first half of that season, and I know sometimes pitchers go through maybe a little dead arm period. It seemed like that happened with him, but he is back in that role that he was so familiar with early in the season.
Well, he's got the tough part of the order. Baez, Rizzo, Castro, 2, 3, and 4 in the batting order, all with big power. And Smith, who has a ton of strikeouts this year, pushing 70 Ks for the season. That's been the theme today for the Cub offense. They have struck out a lot. Fiers punched out 14. Max Scherzer struck out 14 today, and 7 shutout for the Tigers as they beat the Pirates. You don't see 14 strikeout games very often.
No.
And we've had 2 in the same day. Fiers puts his name on a pretty significant list of 14 strikeout games at least in the big leagues this year. Felix Hernandez, Clayton Kershaw, and John Lester have each had 15 strikeout games this season. Max Scherzer, Jose Fernandez, and Mike Fiers with 14 Ks. Scherzer and Fiers today.
Up there with the list with Clayton Kershaw. My goodness, not too shabby.
Only the Marlins strike out more than the Cubs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Baez chases one. Down he goes for the 4th time. His 4th strikeout of the day. And he's chased a lot of pitches out of the strike zone. Smith starts the inning with a K.
Yeah, he threw a nice high fastball way out of the zone. And You know, that's one of the things, you know, with 4 strikeouts, was that the golden sombrero? My goodness. You know, you just get anxious up there and you just try to hit at anything. But Baez was overmatched there.
You know, we keep track of the stats for leadoff batters in an inning and how often they reach base, and that can translate to a lot of runs. Well, how about today? Just the opposite for the Cubs. Cubs leadoff hitters in this game in 8 innings have struck out 7 times. So 7 of the 8 innings have begun with Ks. Here's Anthony Rizzo, who has 2 hits today, and Smith zips one in for a strike.
Boy, I continue to see the improvement with Rizzo over the last couple of years. He's way on the plate a lot closer this year than last year. Gets great plate coverage, hits the ball where he's pitched.
Almost daring you to try to pitch him inside. Fiers tried to do that, and he turned it around at a double down the right field line. That one hits the outside corner for a strike, and it goes to 2-2. The Cubs have 5 hits, Rizzo with 2 of them. Will Smith, and it's fouled away. Rizzo just a touch late. A 2-2, and that one's in there. A called strike 3. Rack another one up. Will Smith, back-to-back Ks. I think he caught him guessing right there, and 2 gone in the inning.
Did he ever catch him guessing, BA? He's looking breaking ball at slider, and boy, that's a nice little fastball right on the outside corner. Not too bad.
Renteria has seen his club strike out 16 times. Every Cubs starter has struck out today at least once. Javier Baez has struck out 4 times. Here's Starlin Castro now. He takes strike 1 from Smith. Into center field, Gomez deep, coming in. He's got it for the out. Side retired. Will Smith comes on, makes it look easy. 2 Ks in a scoreless 8th. They lead 6-2 as we go to the 9th inning from Wrigley Field. Well, our Miller Lite, what's on tap? Here's how it shakes up for the 3-game series in Los Angeles. It's going to be Jimmy Nelson, Giovanni Gallardo, and Willie Peralta. And then the Dodgers are going to counter with Zach Greinke, Clayton Kershaw, and Dan Herron. Tough pitchers there in a big ballpark that is going to be electrified as we show up for the weekend series. They're drawing over 55,000 a game at Dodger Stadium. Carlos Villanueva is on the mound, former Brewer. We'll try to get through this 9th inning. The Dodgers won today, by the way. They maintained the best record in the National League. The Brewers took 2 out of 3 from Los Angeles, but then they handed it to the Atlanta Braves in a 4-game series. They won 3 out of 4 in that series. 6-4 win today over Atlanta. Carlos Gomez leads off for the Brew Crew. And he hits one sharply, but right at Valbuena. This guy can play some D. Takes a hit away from Gomez. Carlos could easily have 4 hits today. He's 1 for 5.
You know, in that first inning, when he crushed that ball to center field and the wind just killed it, that ball was crushed. But, you know, the good thing you have to be, as a hitter, I would always say, okay, I didn't get a hit, but boy, well, he did get that 1 hit, but my approach has been very good at the plate.
Yeah, back on his game. Hopefully
Yes.
that's a sign of things to come for Gomez. There's Gerardo Parra. Parra 0 for 4. Getting the start in right field today. He's lined out twice himself. So the Brewers have 9 hits and they've scored 6 runs, but they've hit a lot of balls hard for outs in this game as well. Coughlin puts that one away. 2 quick outs here in the 9th. On a windy day in the Windy City. Blowing straight in. Very unusual for August here at Wrigley Field. You got Jeffress, the right-hander. Gorzelani's the lefty. Looking ahead to the Cubs' 9th. You got a lefty to lead off Valbuena, the switch hitter Alcantara, and then Ruggiano. That home run by Reynolds could allow Renicky to get through this game without having to use Frankie Rodriguez. You'd like to buy a day for him. You buy one more day for K-Rod, the closer, then you're almost set up for the weekend in Los Angeles, because even if the Brewers need a closer in all 3 games, K-Rod can easily pitch 3 in a row, and then you have a day off Monday. So you're all hands on deck the rest of the road trip if you can get through this one.
Well, and that would be ideal. And I mean, we've seen K-Rod come in, 4 or 5 days in a row, and but he's certainly a lot more effective when he can go 3 days in a row.
Frankie got a save on Monday night here. He's the league leader in saves. He's 1 save away from a milestone. He would catch Raleigh Fingers on the all-time save leaders list. Career saves in Major League Baseball. Frankie Rodriguez has 340 career saves. His next one will tie him for 11th all-time with Raleigh Fingers, the Hall of Famer. Lucroy pops it up. And who wants it? Castro takes control, and that'll be a 1-2-3 inning. And the Brewers are down to the 9th. Last call for the Cubs. 6-2 Milwaukee. sheet here today. Nice going, young lady. Well done. Yep, it's a pretty interesting scorecard today. Mike Fiers strikes out 14 batters. Zach Duke works the 7th inning, gave up 2 runs, but they were unearned. And then Will Smith, a scoreless 8th. Now it's going to be Jeremy Jeffress trying to finish this thing off here today.
Yeah, he's coming on for the 11th time. He's got a 1-1 record with a 1.04 ERA, and he last pitched on Tuesday here in Chicago and tossed a perfect inning.
Hard throwing right-hander, was closing games down in Nashville at the time of his call up. So he'll have Valbuena, Alcantara, and Ruggiano coming up for the Cubs. It is 6-2 Brewers. Any trouble at all? If it gets into a save situation, you'd see Francisco Rodriguez, who is lightly tossing in the Brewers bullpen right now. And you know Renicky would love Jeffress to plow right through this order and get this thing over with. The Brewers can add to their lead in the division. Pirates lost today. They lost to the Tigers. Max Scherzer also struck out 14 batters today. If you're just picking us up, maybe you're just getting home from work or you're dialing us up. The story of the day is Mike Fiers, second all-time in franchise history with most strikeouts in a game. Ben Sheets, the franchise leader, with 18, and now Fiers joins Giovanni Gallardo and Moose Haas. 14 Ks today. 6th major league pitcher with 14 or more strikeouts this season. Some big names on that list, and he and Scherzer on that list as of today. Most road strikeouts in franchise history. That's an interesting note. First Brewer ever to strike out 14 and go 6 shutout innings. Great work today by our statistician, Ethan Cooperson. We appreciate his efforts. He's one of the best in the business, and he's been digging hard to find out a lot of these superlatives that we're passing along to you. What a day for Fiers. He's got a chance to go to 2-0 in his first 2 starts when the Brewers needed him most. As you pointed out in the first inning, Davey. Big start for him.
It certainly was a big start, but boy, he just backed up. You know, his last start was outstanding, and you say, boy, he can't pitch much better than that. Well, he went 8 innings, though, in his last start. Here he only went 6. But it was outstanding.
It's going to be very interesting to hear from Ron Renicky today. Fiers pitching like he is, and keep in mind he's been pitching this way in AAA. He had a 13 strikeout game in AAA this year. Had an ERA in the 2s, around 2.5 at AAA. So he's had a good year, really good year. Comes to the big leagues, does the same thing. And with Kyle Loesch out with the ankle injury, Garza still on the DL. It might buy a little time for the manager. We'll hear from Ron Renicky on our Brewers Live postgame. We'll certainly hear from Fiers as well. But this could affect the decision making and how the Brewers are going to work the rotation moving forward with the day off on Monday. So you could see Fiers again on Tuesday against Toronto. Line drive to left. Davis right there for the out. Valbuena retired, and Jeffress has his first man.
And that's a good sign. Get that leadoff hitter. Jeffress with a nice little strong arm, good fastball. Got a lot of work to do with that breaking ball of his slider. If he can consistently get a little better slider and throw it consistently for strikes, he will be dominant.
Well, Jeffress trying to continue this run for the bullpen in this series, not allowing an earned run. 2 runs came in on Zach Duke in the 8th, but those were, I beg your pardon, in the 7th, but those were unearned runs. So just when the bullpen started to leak a little oil and there was a trouble patch there for a couple of weeks, they seem to have turned it around. And now, Davey, it looks like the roles are clearly defined. Jeffress is pitching here in the 9th, but typically with a lead, you got the combo of Jeffress and Duke for the 7th to get through the 7th, and maybe even the 6th. You got Will Smith, who is settled in the 8th, and K-Rod the 9th.
K-Rod 9th. Just the way you draw it up.
That's what you needed. A little half swing. They'll ask if he went. No, he didn't. Now Contra at a 1-2 count. We'll see another pitch.
You know, I feel too, you know, Brian, down the stretch, I mean, it's going to be your bullpen that's going to get you through this. I mean, I really believe that. You don't have this strong bullpen, it's going to be tough to get through that last month.
Well, that's why you see moves like the Pirates made today, picking up John Axford from the Cleveland Indians. Everybody's searching for pitching. We'll see. I know the Brewers, we had a chance to talk to Zach Manassian before the game, the scouting director. And you know, there's eyeballs on players, and they're watching the waiver wires, and there's still the opportunity to acquire a pitcher maybe. There's a bouncer to third. Reynolds has been quiet today, hadn't had a whole lot of activity over there. Makes a nice play. 2 outs. A player can be postseason eligible as long as he is in your organization by September 1st. So still have a couple of weeks. If in fact the Brewers find the right piece, they could certainly make a move, and that player could help. Comes down to their last hitter, Justin Ruggiano. 16 strikeouts for the Cubs offense today. And for the Brewers, the 16 Ks, the most as a team in a 9-inning game since July of 2012. That was when Gallardo had 14 Ks and the bullpen had 3. Bouncing ball. Scooter Gennett right there, and the Brew Crew coming back with a win. They bookend this series with victories and split this 4-game series, and a chance to maybe go up 2.5 games in the National League Central. At least 2 games when it's all said and done as the Cardinals play tonight. David Nelson, thanks a lot for your help this week. You pulled triple duty. It's been great having you.
I enjoyed it. BA was great. Thank you.
Been a lot of fun. David Nelson, Bob Uecker spending some time with us. We wish the best for Bill Schroeder as he recovers from that finger injury and infection. And we're headed to Los Angeles, but not before Brewers Live is coming up. Craig and Davey, they'll be back with you. Sophia's down on the field for interviews. Brewers Live after the turn. The Brewers beat the Cubs today 6-2.